Live on a Friday night, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey. As tonight's the opener of the three straight on the road as the Grizzlies take on the Bloomington Bison. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. It's the fourth and final meeting this season between the Grizzlies and Bloomington Bison. Remember, the Grizzlies picked up 3 out of a possible 6 standings points against the Bison in the middle of December as Utah got a 5-3 victory on February 13th. And then Bloomington won 3-1 on February 14th. And then in overtime on February 16th, Grizzlies fell 4-3. Grizzlies did get a great weekend from Tyler Gratton. He has 2 goals against Bloomington this year. Riley Connors also had 2 goals against Bloomington. And Luke Manning also has 2 goals against the Bison this year. The Grizzlies start the month of March after having gone 5-4-3 in the month of February. Utah scored 49 goals in 12 games in February, and obviously the Grizzlies have been led by Danny Genev all year long. He leads the league in shots on goal with 222. He also leads the league with 51 points. He leads all league rookies with 51 points, also leads rookies with 34 assists, and is second among rookies with 18 power play points. Reed Lepster is second in the league with 28 goals this season. He's tied for 9th with 49 points. Got to watch out for the captain, Tyler Gratton. He had 2 goals against Bloomington in the middle of February. Gratton is tied for second in the league with 9 power play goals. And also watch out for Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who is 4th among rookies with 30 assists. And he's tied for 1st among rookies with 16 power play assists. Well, we're hanging out in the Professional Green Studios inside the Grizzlies office here at Maverick Center. Grizzlies are 1 time zone away in Bloomington, and it should be a fun night of hockey. Good goaltending matchup tonight. Kyle Kaiser will get the start for Utah. This will be his 11th appearance this season. Obviously, he's been outstanding in the American Hockey League with the Colorado Eagles. Kaiser back after missing a couple games due to a lower body injury. He's got a record of 6-3 with a .914 save percentage in a Grizzlies uniform. And for Bloomington, it's going to be former Grizzly Dryden McKay, who was January's league goaltender of the month. McKay has an overall record of 15-14-1. He has 3 shutouts, all of them in a Bloomington uniform, and has a .925 save percentage. So a good goaltending matchup, and it should be an interesting battle as the Grizzlies and Bison each meet for the 4th and final time this season. It's the final meeting ever. They did play 3 games over in Bloomington where the Grizzlies salvaged the 3rd game of the set. They went 1-2 against Bloomington this year, and Utah's looking for their 2nd victory against the Bison this season. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we'll talk about Riley Connors, who won the league's Rookie of the Month award. We're in business on a Friday night, and you're listening.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in a few minutes. They might start at the top of the hour. Not really sure, as it's the Grizzlies and Bison. Well, Bloomington's had a bit of a struggle. They've lost 6 in a row. In fact, their last victory was at Maverick Center against the Grizzlies on February 16th, where Utah lost 4-3 in overtime. For the Grizzlies, they had a pretty successful month of February offensively. They had 49 goals in 12 games in February, and the Grizzlies had 20 goals in the third periods of games. Utah had 5 or more goals in 5 of 12 games in February, and they were led by the combination of Danny Genev and Riley Connors. Connors won the league's Rookie of the Month award as he had 11 goals in 12 games, and Danny Genev led Utah with 18 points in February. We'll come back and give you the lineups and have face-off on the other side. You're tuned into the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Bloomington Bison. In the fourth meeting, it's just a one-game stopover in Bloomington. The Grizzlies will be in Cincinnati to take on the Cyclones on Saturday night at 5:35. It's going to be a 7:35 local face-off in Cincinnati. And then Sunday afternoon is going to be 1 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. Let's go over the starters for both teams. First, for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, who are led by John Buchanan. Kyle Kaiser is going to get the start in net. The starting defensive pairing is Colby Enns and Aiden Hansen-Bukata, and the starting forwards are Evan Friesen, Reed Webster, and Tyler Gratton. For the Bloomington Bison, it's going to be Dryden McKay in net, as he's looking for his 16th win of the year. The starting defensive pairing is Colin Ferguson, and he's going to be paired up with Patrick Gavlis. The starting forwards are Eddie Matsushima and Mikhail Abramov, as well as Chong-Min Lee. As the lights go on and off, as looks like they're introducing the Bloomington starters. Got a good goaltending matchup. We talked about Dryden McKay, the former Grizzly. And for Utah, it's going to be Kyle Kaiser, who's back after missing a couple weeks due to a lower body injury. Kaiser last appeared in a game for the Grizzlies not all that long ago. Remember, he did suffer the lower body injury on February 25th against the Tahoe Night Monsters. Kaiser did get the victory that night, stopping 13 of 15. So I think we're a little bit worried that was going to be more of a long-term injury, but Kaiser is back 9 days after he suffered the lower body injury late in the second period against the Tahoe Night Monsters. First game of the month of March, and for the Grizzlies, it was an award-winning month of February as Riley Connors won the league's Rookie of the Month award. First Grizzly to win that in 4 seasons. We'll give you the trivia question as to who was the last Grizzly to win the Rookie of the Month award. We'll give you some time to think about it. We'll give you the answer during the middle of the first period. Connors is outstanding in terms of goal scoring in February as he had 11 goals and 5 assists in 12 games during the month. He is 25 years old. He had a point in 9 of 12 games and a goal in 8 of 12 games in the month of February, and he was just outstanding. Connors is in his first full season as a pro. He played his college hockey at Yale and St. Lawrence. He is the 8th different Grizzly skater in the ECHL era to be named Rookie of the Month. And the trivia question, we'll give you the answer in a little bit. We'll give you some time to think about it. Who was the last Grizzly to win the league's Rookie of the Month award? As the Bloomington mascot comes out, and he's going to wave a flag at center ice. They're introducing the starters for the Bison. For Utah, they've been an outstanding road club this season. They have a record of 15, 12, and 3 away from Maverick Center. Obviously, the Grizzlies have had their struggles on home ice this season. But remember, Utah will be home for 12 of the final 15 games in the regular season. Well, quite the fire and light show going on in Bloomington, as they've got a huge inflatable. Is that a bull? I think it's a bull. Now they're going to introduce the starters for the Bison one by one. Looks like a pretty good setup over in Bloomington. 4th and final meeting this season, and it's the 7th and final meeting ever between the Grizzlies and the Bison. For Utah, it's important to get off to a fast start, but I look at the second period as being critical in tonight's game. Bloomington's been outstanding in the second periods as of late. In fact, Bloomington has outscored opponents 17-9 in the second periods in the month of February, as they played 13 games during the month. For the season, Bloomington is a +6 in the goal differential in the second periods. And for the Grizzlies, unfortunately, they're a -28 in the goal differential as Utah has scored 55 goals, but they've allowed 83 second period goals this season. So watch out for the middle frame. And because of that, it's important for the Grizzlies to get off to a fast start. Fire and smoke everywhere as Dryden McKay comes out of the big inflatable bull. As looks like a pretty fun atmosphere over in Bloomington. And it looks like they've got a pretty good Friday night crowd. For the Grizzlies, they're starting with their top forward line of Tyler Gratton, Evan Friesen, and Reed Webster. And we'll go over the other forwards here shortly. And we'll come back and have face-off on the other side. You're tuned into the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Bloomington Bison for the final time ever. Ceremonial puck drop to two captains, Tyler Gratton for the Grizzlies and Eddie Matsushima, who's in his second season as Bloomington's captain, as they shake hands with the ceremonial puck dropper. First forward line is going to get the start for Utah tonight, and from left to right, that's Tyler Gratton, Evan Friesen, and Reed Webster. Second forward line is Danny Genev, along with the Rookie of the Month, Riley Connors, and Stepan Timofeyev, who led Utah in plus-minus in the month of February at a +4 mark. John Gillette's going to be out there with Luke Manning and Maxim Barbashev. And the fourth forward line is going to feature Yaroslav Yevdokimov with Mikey Colella and Mike Gillette. The sixth defenseman, Colby Enns and Aiden Hansen-Bucata are going to get the start. We will also see Mathieu Boilard paired up with Andrew Noel, and Luke Salem is going to be paired up with Dylan Gratton, the first-year pro, who's in his second weekend as a professional. He played in 3 games last week against Tahoe and had 2 assists. Grizzlies are wearing a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. As Eddie Matsushima will take the draw against Utah's Evan Friesen. Friesen wins the faceoff and we're underway. Grizzlies skate from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports, and we do ask for a little bit of patience as unfortunately I am at the mercy of this one camera feed. Kaiser plays behind his net. He last played 9 days ago, and he stopped 13 of 15 as he earned his 6th victory of the season. Grizzlies throw the puck deep in the Bison zone. Tyler Gratton delivers a hit. As the Bison skate along the near wing boards, they get it out to center ice off the skate to Eddie Matsushima. As he'll skate around one Grizzly, gets towards the right side. Matsushima tries to feed one out in front. It's sticked away by Utah. As Tyler Gratton will push it out towards center ice. Lebster chasing after it. But Bloomington gets the puck at their blue line. And a left wing feed out to center ice. Bison with the left wing chip deep into the Grizzlies zone as Luke Salem in his first shift of the game gets towards Colby Enns. Now back to Salem. Luke Salem spent part of last season with Indy and finished the year with Kalamazoo. Salem will slice along the near wing boards. Manning in the area. He gets the puck as he fakes it towards John Gillette. Manning gets spun around as he was skating towards the near corner. Big time hit as the puck will lift out of play off the protective netting as we got our first whistle 1 minute, 2 seconds in. Who's your pick to click? Who's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies tonight? It's a tough choice. I think I'm going to go with Tyler Gratton, the Grizzlies captain. He's a second-year pro. He had 20 goals for Reading last season. He's up to 15 with Utah with 18 games to go. Grizzlies will have a forward line of Luke Manning taking the draw. He's got John Gillette to his left and Maxim Barbashev to his right. John Gillette replaces Neil Shea on that particular forward unit. Shea was released by the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and he's playing for Greenville. He might be in the Swamp Rapids lineup tonight. Left point, lefty shot is blocked. Backhand feed towards the net goes wide. Actually, it's more of a shot than a feed, but that one misses on Dryden McKay. Bison, they push it towards their left, and it goes all the way down for a Bloomington icing as we get a whistle 1 minute 19 in. So it's tough to lose Neil Shea. Not really sure about the circumstances, but he got released by the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and then the Greenville Swamp Rapids picked him up. He would be reunited with Keaton Mastrodonado, but a couple days ago, the Maestro was recalled to the AHL's Ontario Reign. Just getting underway, so grab some chips and dip in a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Friday with us. Left circle draw is won by Bloomington, as they'll push it out to center ice. Grizzlies reset. Dylan Gratton fires it in. Gratton played with 3 different colleges, including the University of Vermont this year. He fired it on to McKay, so that might be an official shot on goal. As Bloomington skates towards the left wing, lefty shot goes wide. That shot was taken by Shane Ott, who has 9 goals in 53 games, Ott wearing number 21, and he's on a line with Brad Morrison and Ilya Tuskukin. As Grizzlies come out towards center ice, Utah over the offensive line. As Luke Manning skates towards the right point, and he'll spin the puck around the boards, where it's taken by Bloomington, who skates around Dryden McKay's net. We played 2 minutes. Both teams have 1 shot. Connors near the Grizzlies bench will push it back towards Utah ice, but the puck deflects out of play as Connors in his first shift of the game, as he's out there with Danny Genev and Stepan Timofeyev. Faceoff's going to be at center ice, and all 3 forwards on that line had a very productive month of February. Genev led the Grizzlies with 18 points. He had 4 goals and 14 assists in February. Riley Connors obviously had 11 goals to tie for the league lead among everybody, rookies included in goals. And then Stepan Timofeyev led Utah in plus-minus in the month of February with a +4 rating. Bloomington wins the draw. Chris Ortiz throws it towards the right goal line. Bloomington tried to slide it out in front, but it went through the crease, and Grizzlies were able to clear it towards the near wing boards. Andrew Noel, the former Cincinnati Cyclone, he's got to be fired up this weekend as he'll face his former teammates tomorrow and Sunday. Puck towards the near wing, near Trice, and Bloomington will fire it in. Noel gets it off the boards. He's paired up with Boilar tonight as Noel skates down the middle of the ice, veers off to his left, gets a new Trice, and he'll chip it in. And he chipped it on towards Dryden McKay, so no icing on the play. Now the puck will slide towards new Trice. Foot race taken by the Bison. They'll move it towards their left. Ada McDonald, wearing number 8, skates towards the corner. Now he rolls it along the roulette wheel. Puck to the right point. Now it goes to the right circle. Bison get it across. Righty shot. That's one saved by McKay. That shot was taken by Mikhail Robidoux, who picked up a game misconduct against the Grizzlies on February 14th. As Genev gets the puck, and he'll sky it towards center ice. It's gloved and dropped by the Bison. Bloomington ahead off a stick as it goes towards Aiden Hansen-Bukato. Will pitchfork it ahead. Grizzlies chase after it. You have Donkomov in particular, but it's going to go down for a Utah icing as there's 16:42. That's the time remaining in this first period. Grizzlies have been outshot 3-2. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday night. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. Thanks for choosing the Grizzlies in their battle against Bloomington. It's going to be a very busy weekend for the Grizzlies as they will travel to Cincinnati. Apparently, it's about a 5-hour bus ride from Bloomington to Cincinnati after tonight's game. Grizzlies will take on the Cyclones both tomorrow night at 5:35 and Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's Mountain Time Zones. Grizzlies will be in the Eastern Time Zone this weekend. I think Bloomington, if I remember right, is in the Central Time Zone as the puck's out towards center ice. Grizzlies try to one-handed ahead. Puck will roll into the Grizzlies zone as Luke Salem taps it off the boards. He tried to get it towards Mike Gillette, the older brother of John Gillette. The Gillette brothers and the Grattons are both on the ice here tonight, although it looks like the Grattons are sitting on the bench right now as Bloomington crosses center ice. Now they bounced across. Actually, Dylan Gratton's on the ice as he's paired up with Luke Salem tonight. As Bison get it towards the right circle. They're in the attack zone. Still scoreless 4 minutes in. Centering pass rolls on to Kaiser. Now it's chipped towards the near wing boards. As Bloomington in the offensive zone, they get it back to the high slot. Lefty shot. That's blocked before it gets to Kaiser. Shot was taken by Colin Ferguson, number 9. He used to play with Fort Wayne. He's an Ontario native. As the arm is raised by the referee, as there was a scrum behind Kaiser's net, we're going to go our first penalty of the game. Who's it going to be on? As looks like a little bit of a commotion behind Kaiser as he looks behind his net. It looks like Utah is going to get an early power play. As Chongming Lee, the native of Seoul, Korea, 5'11", 187 pounds, he's going to go to the box. Let's see if we can get the referee's signal. So 2 minutes for cross-checking. Utah's power play was outstanding in the month of February. There's 15:43 left in the first. Lee is going to be in the box for 2 minutes. Utah's 18 for 61 on the power play over the last 18 games. Utah is currently 6th in the man advantage at 21.8%. And watch out for Tyler Gratton. He leads Utah with 9 power play goals. Friesen will take the draw. He's got Lepster to his left, Gratton to his right, and we believe off the screen it's Danny Genev and Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Face-off won by the Bison, still scoreless. Puck around the boards. Hansen-Bukata chip it towards the right wing. As Gratton near the boards, he gets double-teamed. Now the puck off a couple sticks, and Bloomington clears it out. Kaiser drops it behind his net as the Grizzlies' 5-man unit goes to work. As a left wing feed out to center ice. Now Friesen will slide it towards Genev, who crosses center ice. Genev over the offense line, gets around one skater, stops in the far corner, which is the left side as we see it. As Hansen-Bukata gets it back in deep, Bison come up with a puck as Chris Ortiz has it off his skate. He used to play with Providence in the AHL. Now the puck towards the middle of the ice, and Bloomington clears it out. Kaiser with a strong outlet pass to center ice as Gratton will throw it back into the Grizzly zone. 1:10 left in the power play. As we played 5 minutes, still no score. Lepster drops it off as Genev feeds it towards his right. As it glanced off the Lepster stick, and Bloomington will twirl the puck all the way towards Kaiser. Kaiser in the crease will nudge it towards his left. Now ahead to Lepster. Reed Lepster, 28 goals this season, which ranks second in the league. Will push it ahead to Barbashev as Lepster comes off the ice. Connors behind Bloomington's net. Gets it to Genev on the right side. Genev, 18 power play points this season, including 16 assists. As he tried to backhand it to a spot that was vacated by him. Barbashev gets up top to Salem. Now left wing. Timofeyev left righty shot saved by McKay. Rebound trickles towards the right side. Less than 30 seconds left in the power plays. Genev exits after an extended shift. Puck around the boards. Barbashev last year played with Bloomington. And so it's a reunion for him, and the Bison will chip it out as the puck will wobble and glide behind Utah's net. 13 seconds left in the power play. We're still looking for the game's first goal. Timofeyev to neutralize, races across center. Now he steps over the offensive blue, drops it off, but the whistle blows. The Grizzlies were apparently offside as there are 6 seconds left in the power play and 13:49 left in the first. So Grizzlies will switch up, and they will prepare for life after the power play, as they'll get a normal 5-man unit with 3 forwards and 2 defensemen. Mikey Colella is going to take the drives out there with Yevdokimov, who scored Utah's lone goal this past Saturday in a 4-1 loss to Tahoe. Mike Gillette also on the ice as well. Gillette back after missing a few games, as Bloomington will spank it into the Grizzly zone after winning the face-off. And the Bison are back to full strength. Utah's 0 for 1 on the power play. Utah did not get a single shot during that man advantage. Mike Gillette will nudge it in. Mikey Colella with good speed. He challenges McKay behind Bloomington's net. Now the Bison get it ahead. As it goes off a couple sticks out towards center ice. Now the puck towards Utah's line. Grizzlies trying to backhand it ahead towards Yevdokimov. Now the Bison will voluntarily throw it back to neutral ice. Bloomington dumps it in. Kaiser behind his net will drop it off. As we played about 7 minutes, still looking for the game's first goal. Barbashev gets the puck. He played with Bloomington last year. The Bison are affiliated with the New York Rangers, and the Grizzlies are in their 8th season as an affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche. Puck towards the far corner. John Gillette joins the play. So does Reed Lepster. Arm is raised by one of the referees. Actually, there's only one referee tonight. And penalty, not sure it's going to be on. Might be on the Grizzlies as the play is touched up. Tripping's going to be the call. And it looks like Utah is going to get their second power play of the period. As tripping's going to be the call. Couldn't identify the Bloomington player, but it's going to be a Utah power play. 12:57 left in the first period. No score. Bloomington's outshot Utah 4-3. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
So it's Utah's second power play of the first period. Couldn't identify the Bloomington player that's in the box, but Utah will get their second power play as Lepster's out there with Friesen and Gratton, and Aiden Hansen-Bukata and Danny Genev are, we believe, the other two on the ice. So we're hanging out here in the Professional Green Studios at Maverick Center As looks like a pretty good Friday night crowd. Looks like a fun atmosphere over in Bloomington. Draw's going to be over in the left circle. Game host Jake, he's firing up the crowd. Utah wins the draw. We know that because that's what it says on the back of his jersey. As left wing, righty shot by Lebster. A save by McKay. As it appears he holds on. So Utah gets a grade A shot, 7 seconds into the power play as Reed Lebster, who has 6 power play goals this season, fired away on Dryden McKay. Same 5 on the ice for Utah. Grizzlies were a very productive power play unit in the month of February. They're ranked 6th in the league at 21.8%. Utah wins the draw. Gratton gets it up top. Genev back towards Gratton, and he tried to slide towards the high slot for Hanson Buchanan. It's picked off. Grizzlies have given up 6 short-handed goals this season. Bison skating, backhand shot, saved by Kaiser. Like grade A stop by Kyle Kaiser as Bloomington tried to go 5-hole on a backhand shot, and Kaiser made the stop. Puck still alive. As Gratton gets thrown towards the boards by Chris Ortiz. Puck to the middle of the ice, taken by Utah. Righty shot. That one goes wide. McKay might have gotten a piece of it. Shot was taken by Reed Lebster. Utah keeps it in. Genev, the Penn State product, over to Hanson Buchanan, who feeds to the far corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right as we see it in the first period. As Utah towards the left circle, dangling back and forth, gets to Freese and back towards Lebster. Up top to Hanson Buchanan, directs it to his right for Genev. Cross-ice feed to Lebster. Lebster didn't have a shooting angle, so he'll throw it back to Hanson Buchanan in the left point. Across looking for Genev, and a great defensive play by Bloomington's Mikhail Abramov. Now the Bison skate towards the nearest circle. Kaiser outlets it off the glass. And the puck goes to the Bloomington line as Genev gets around one Bison skater, throws it back up top. Gratton in the right point will skate towards the circle, drop it off to Genev. Both guys were teammates at Penn State. And Bloomington takes it away, and they'll throw it towards Kaiser. Behind the net, Kyle Kaiser will casually play it, and they'll throw it towards the far wing. 30 seconds left in Utah's second power play of the game, and we're still looking for the game's first goal. Great goaltending matchup between Kaiser and McKay. Barbashev will chip it to his left. Grizzlies in the attack zone. Left wing dangling back and forth. Timofeyev will take a righty shot blocker saved by McKay. Both McKay and Timofeyev used to play with Greenville. Now up top, Timofeyev backhands it as Grizzlies slide it towards Bloomington's net horizontally as they were looking for Yevdokimov, and Bloomington will clear it out. So 2 unsuccessful power plays for the Grizzlies. As Bloomington comes out of the box, we're still scoreless. 10:44 is the time remaining. On the back check, taking it away. Fresh out of the box is Mark Kalyankovics. He centers it. Lefty shot. Blocker saved by Kaiser. As we're still scoreless, that last shot, we believe, was taken by Sullivan Mack, number 13, the native of Anchorage, Alaska. He played his college hockey at Cornell. Also spent some time last season in the AHL with Hartford. So Grizzlies will switch up skaters. Utah had 1 shot in that particular power play that was taken by Reed Lebster 7 seconds into the man advantage. Andrew Noel, rink-wide feed, goes all the way down. Couldn't tell if it connected on anybody. No icing, though, as McKay will slide it towards the far wing as Bloomington spreads the ice. Both teams pretty familiar with the strengths and weaknesses after the 3-game series at Maverick Center on February 13th, 14th, and 16th. Grizzlies picked up 3 out of 6 standings points in the series. Bloomington gets stripped up at center ice. No call, though, by referee Cameron Fleming. The linesmen are Will Anderson and Michael Ivovitz. As puck towards the far wing, as Bloomington will skate out towards center ice. 9:38 on a moving clock first period as it's fired in by the Bison. And now towards center ice as Bloomington back at their blue line. Grizzlies switch up skaters. Bison fires it in from center ice. Kaiser lets it go to the corner as Bloomington will drop it off. Chong-Ming Lee skates towards the left wing towards Kaiser. Righty shots blocked by Kaiser's right shoulder. As puck to the left corner. Third Grizzly joins the play. Noel, now Gratton looking nearby, trying to yank it away. As a scrum over in the corner near side of the Grizzly zone. Chris Ortiz looks nearby as Robidoux joins the play. Puck slides towards Friesen, who skates around Utah's net. Robidoux throws Friesen towards the boards. Mikhail Robidoux has 135 penalty minutes on the season, and he has over 1,000 in his league career. As Ortiz, he gets pushed by Mike Gillette. Gillette, the former Peoria Riverman. Now Noel gets physical with the Bison skater behind Kaiser's net. Bison get it up top right point. They're in the offensive zone. Still no score. Left wing, Ortiz, a fire lefty shot saved by Kaiser. And after the whistle, it looks like a Bison skater is getting after it with Andrew Noel. Boy, Noel's been pretty feisty after the whistles in his time as a Grizzly. And, of course, it's Mikhail Robidoux on the Bloomington side. Doesn't take much to fire him up. 8:34 is left in the first. Still no score. Bison have outshot Utah 8-4. As Robidoux looking nearby, as Kaiser protected his net. Now Aiden McDonald getting after it with Tyler Gratton, one of the linesmen, steps in. So it looks like a little bit of feistiness here as we're still looking for the game's first goal. 8 minutes, 34 seconds left in the first. And not sure if there's a timeout on the play. There might be. Actually, there is a timeout. We'll come back in 1 minute. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Still looking for the game's first goal. There's 8 minutes and 34 seconds left. Bloomington's outshot Utah 8-4. Kaiser made a stop on a shot from the left wing. Then a little bit of a commotion after the whistle. Faceoffs in the near circle as John Gillette will take it. He's out there with Yevdokimov and another Grizzly forward as we're still trying to identify some players here on this remote feed. Bloomington gets the puck, right side centering pass, lefty shot. That one's blocked away as John Gillette was out there with Kaiser in front of the crease. Now Utah gets the puck as Gillette gets it knifed away. Grizzlies are going with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen, so they have a full complement of skaters tonight. Colby Enns puts a move behind Utah's net on a Bison skater. Grizzlies backhanded across. Lebster accepts the puck and neutralized. Tried to get it ahead to Hanson Bukata. Was overled for him. John Gillette chases, and he gets thrown towards the boards by a Bison skater, and that's Parker Gavlis, the former Norfolk Admiral. Gavlis, 6'1", 194 pounds. As a Bison skater trying to play soccer as they didn't have a stick. Bloomington moves it ahead to the right wing. Bison trying to chip it out to Chris Ortiz. It's picked off by Lebster. He'll nudge it ahead along the right wing towards John Gillette. And Gillette will fire it in as the Grizzlies have switched up the forward combinations a little bit here in the first period. Kind of mixing and matching here and there as Utah's going with 12 forwards. As Bloomington will shovel it in from center ice. Kallian Kovacs chases after it. Dylan Gratton gets their stride ahead of him. As Gratton, the former Penn State product, along with the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and Vermont. As he's wearing number 25 for the Grizzlies, puck to the high slot. Ortiz, Bloomington's number 25, moves it ahead. It didn't go very far. Dylan Gratton, the Zach Rinke look-alike, throws it up but not out. Bison get it towards the left wing as Lou Felix Denis gets it back to the high slot. Ortiz slides one across. Bloomington gets it to the right corner. As dancing around Fleeks, Sullivan Mack skates around to the left wing. Now he gets up top. Ortiz loses control of the puck, taking it's Timofeyev. He'll race along the right wing. Ortiz on the back check, knifed it away from him. As Timofeyev delivers a strong hit on Brendan Dadema, the former Atlanta Gladiator. As Kallian Kovacs looked to center it, glanced off a stick. Kaiser dives towards his right as the puck goes wide of the net. Grizzlies back deep in their own zone. There's 6:38 on a moving clock. We're still looking for the game's first goal. Kind of a modest-sized crowd here on a Friday night over in Bloomington. Grizzlies will be in Cincinnati Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. Grizzlies will loft it ahead. Luke Manning trying to get the bouncing puck in the slot, and it's knifed away by Bloomington. Grizzlies in a white jersey tonight. Bloomington in a mostly a light blue jersey with a little bit of red and white mixed in. White lettering, white numbers in the back. As Andrew Noel dances around wearing number 77, previously worn this year by Griffin Ness. As he'll slide it towards the right corner. Griffin Ness's brother, Tucker Ness, recently signed a pro contract. As the Bison get it towards the left circle, as they try to center it, bouncing up a stick. And the puck hops out to center ice. Less than 6 minutes left in the first period. Still no score. As Lee gets around Barbashev. Now back to the left wing. As a glance off the skate. Now to the left point. Shot. That's blocked. That shot was taken by Ivan Chukarov, the former Jacksonville Iceman. Puck towards the right corner. A lot of action in the Grizzlies zone. Utah's hoping to change that. Up ahead to center ice. You have Dokimov. He'll skate in. As he gets around one Bison skater, throws it towards the inboards, chases after it, trying to center it towards Mike Gillette, who falls down. And the puck trickles towards Dryden McKay, who covers up the puck with 5 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw after the timeout, as Bloomington's outshot Utah 9-5. Still no score. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
5 minutes, 18 seconds are left in the first period. Still no score. A little bit of Grizzlies trivia. Riley Connors was the 8th different ECHL era skater to win Rookie of the Month. And obviously for the Grizzlies, it's their 21st season in this league. Who was the last guy before Connors to win the league's Rookie of the Month award? We'll tell you on the next whistle. As puck to the right side, offensive zone draw. Mike Gillette danced around in the right corner and trying to get it towards Mikey Colella. It's taken away. Bloomington crosses center ice, and they'll chip it in. Colella chasing after it as it goes towards the left corner. Bison slide it from one corner to the other as you have Dokimov gets the puck. He'll push it ahead to Mike Gillette. Gillette crosses center ice, and he'll shovel it in as he tries to get around one Bison skater. As the puck behind McKay's net, you have Dokimov joins the play and tosses it away from a Bison skater. Mike Gillette gets taken off the puck as he gets thrown towards the boards. And Bloomington nudges it ahead. Aiden McDonald, the big 6'4", got it to center ice. Grizzlies fire it back in as Bison chase after it. Colin Ferguson, he played pretty well against the Grizzlies in February, wearing number 9. As the Bison still in their own zone as they outlet it off the near wing boards as one of the linesmen jumps out of the way. Grizzlies fire it back in. As McKay behind his net, the former Holby Baker Award winner. McKay, statistically, is the greatest goaltender in college hockey history. As Bison tried to get it ahead as they were looking for Shane Ott, and the puck drifts away. Shout out to Shane Mack, the former Major League outfielder of the Minnesota Twins and a few other teams. Part of the 1991 World Series club, Shane Mack. I think he played his college baseball at USC, or either USC or UCLA. Don't want to get the Shane Mack Marching and Chowder Society upset. As puck towards the right side, Bloomington, the offensive zone, gets up top. Now to Chris Ortiz. Left point, his shot's blocked by the stick of Lebster. As Dylan Gratton tried to get to Lebster at center ice, Ortiz picked it off. He moves it across. Bloomington skates towards the right circle. Righty shot kick saved by Kaiser off his right pad. As Bloomington gets it up top. Ortiz fires towards the net. Once again, Lebster's stick blocks it. As Bloomington still in the offensive zone, Lee will nudge it towards his right. As Bison skate towards the right circle, they try to split a double team. Bison skates around Kaiser's net. Hunter Miska's the backup. He played the last 2 games for Utah against the Tahoe Night Monsters at Maverick Center. As Lebster gets control of the puck, he'll skate towards neutral ice 2-on-2. He veers off to his left as he crosses center ice. Now he accelerates across Ortiz. Left wing, he'll take a righty shot, saved by McKay. But Lebster really changing speeds, accelerating, decelerating. Now Lebster's at center ice. Lebster's had an outstanding second year with the Grizzlies. He'll come off for a change. Right wing feed towards Boilar. He steps over the offensive line before he gets divorced in the puck. Matsushima moves it across. As the Bison skate towards the right circle, righty shot is blocked by a stick, and it was blocked by the stick of Riley Connors, reigning league Rookie of the Month. 2:35 on a moving clock. Utah's had 2 power plays. Bloomington has not had a power play as of yet. The Grizzlies have played a disciplined first period. Bison throw it across, but it goes out to center ice. Parker Gavlis plays it. So push it ahead. Now towards center ice. Bison enter as they center it. Lefty shot kick saved by Kaiser's left ankle. Now a shot from the right wing's blocked. Grizzlies come back the other way. Noel towards the near side. Now he skates around Kaiser's net. Noel played against the Bison quite a bit as a member of the Cincinnati Cyclones. Noel trying to get to somebody at center ice. He was looking for Timofeyev. It's picked off. Bison fire it back in. Kaiser plays behind his net. There's now less than 2 minutes left in the first period. Colby Enns gets blasted behind the Grizzlies' net. Now the Bison right goal line. They chip it across off a Bloomington skate or a stick. He was trying to play the puck. Was Lou Felix Denis, number 5. Now shots blocked by Kaiser. Over in the left corner, Felix Denis. He gets nudged by Noel. Another Bison skater joins the play. Trying to get it ahead as he's challenged by Genev. Now Bloomington to the center of the ice. Lefty shot. That one trickles away and out of play as Mack, I think, fired it off of Kaiser's right blocker. Sullivan Mack took that shot. He's got 12 goals and a plus 12 rating this season. So a little bit of Grizzlies trivia. When's the last time a Grizzly skater won the league's Rookie of the Month award? And the answer is Brandon Cutler, who won the League Rookie of the Month award for November of 2021. Cutler had an outstanding year for the Grizzlies, who ended up winning the 2021-22 Mountain Division Championship. Cutler was not a part of the second half of that season as he got called up to the AHL's Abbotsford Canucks, and he played the second half of the year in Abbotsford. Bison are up to 12 shots. Grizzlies have 5, but nobody's found the back of the net as of yet. Good goaltending matchup. Bison around the boards. Datema slides behind Utah's net. Now the Bison still in the offensive zone get double teamed to the right wing. Bison throw it to the middle of the ice, but they didn't have a shooting angle. Barbashev skates around his own net. Now he'll drop it off as Hansi Bukata moves along the near wing. As Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. As holding his ground is Luke Manning. Shane Ott, not to be confused with Shane Mack, throws to the right side. Now back towards the left circle as Bloomington trying to center it, but the Grizzlies are doing a good job clogging the middle of the ice. 50 seconds left in the first period. Arm is raised by the referee. Grizzlies play it, and it looks like it's going to be Bloomington's first power play of the game. Looks like holding's going to be the call. Either holding or interference. As going to the box is former Bloomington Bison forward Maxime Barbashev. Barbashev gets 2 minutes for holding. Time of penalty is 19:14 into the first period. Barbashev, a former fifth-round draft pick by the New York Rangers in 2022. He appeared in 36 games at Bloomington last season, scoring 3 goals and 5 assists. He also played in 6 games last season with the AHL's Hartford Wolfpack. Barbashev, this is his 31st appearance in a Grizzlies uniform. He also has 3 games of experience in the AHL with the Tucson Roadrunners. Bloomington has struggled on the power play as of late. Bison skate towards the right wing. Now to the right circle. Bloomington has lost 6 in a row. They finished the month of February with 5 victories. Bison get it in deep as Kaiser looks over his left shoulder. Now Bloomington gets it back up top. Now across as Ott throws it to the right circle. Lefty shot. And it looks like it goes out of play. As it might have bounced off of Kaiser's glove, or maybe the Grizzlies got a piece of it. We do ask for a little bit of patience, of course, on these remote broadcasts. Bloomington's power play is ranked tied for 17th in the league at 17.9%. Over the last 19 games, Bloomington is 8 for 66, just a 12.1 power play clip. Faceoffs over in the far circle. 24 seconds left in the period. Utah wins the draw, and Colby Enns will slice it ahead. Remember, Utah does have 5 shorthanded goals this season, but it's been a while since they've scored a shorty. As Bloomington crosses center ice, left wing, as it fumbles off of Felix Denis' stick, and the Grizzlies will clear it out again. 10 seconds left in the first period, as Bloomington appears to be starting the power play in the second period. As long-range feed, that goes wide and out of play, although it looks like time's going to run out. 0's on the clock as both teams will head to their respective locker rooms. Bloomington will be on the power play for the first minute and 15 seconds of the first period. So no score. Bloomington had a shot advantage, and we'll see what happens in the second period. We talked about during the pregame report, it's going to be critical for the Grizzlies to play well in the second period against a Bloomington club. With the month of February, the second period was certainly their most dominant. We'll come back and recap the first period statistically. There wasn't a whole lot that happened. Utah was 0 for 2 on the power play, and Bloomington is in the middle of their first power play of the game. We'll come back and talk some hockey and also go over some league scores. Busy day in the National Hockey League as it's trade deadline day. Quite a few moves being made. Nazem Kadri goes to the Colorado Avalanche in a big move. John Carlson from the Washington Capitals to the Anaheim Ducks. It's going to be odd seeing Carlson in a jersey that's other than the Washington Capitals. And a few other trades across the National Hockey League. We'll come back and talk some hockey as they play 20 minutes over at Grossinger Motors Arena. And there's still no score between the Grizzlies and the Bison. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
After 20 minutes of play over at Grossinger Motors Arena, there's no score, and that's really no surprise considering that's a top-flight goaltending matchup with Kyle Kaiser stopping all 13 shots in the first period and Dryden McKay, the former Hobie Baker Award winner. McKay is the most prolific goaltender statistically in college hockey history. He stopped all 6 in the first. So I got to imagine goals are going to be at a premium tonight. Fourth and final meeting this season between the clubs. As they show some kids, there's one wearing a Cincinnati Cyclones jersey, as the Grizzlies will be in Cincinnati tomorrow night at 5:30 and Sunday afternoon at about 1 p.m. Of the 6 shots Utah had in the first period, Colby Enns had 2. Timofeyev, Dylan Gratton, Andrew Noel, and Mike Gillette each had 1. For the Bloomington Bison in the first period, Sullivan Mack had 2 shots. So did Chris Ortiz. Mikael Robidoux also had 2 shots. So 3 Bison skaters with 2 shots, and then 7 other Bison skaters with 1 shot each. Chong-Ming Lee picked up a cross-checking minor, 4:17 into the first period. Grizzlies did not have any shots in that particular power play. And then 7:13 into the first, Mark Kaliankovics picked up a tripping minor. And Grizzlies, I think, had 1 shot on that particular power play, and it was Reed Webster 7 seconds into the man advantage. Bloomington's penalty kill is 81.1% this season. Former Bison forward Maxim Barbashev picked up Utah's lone penalty in the first period as he got a holding minor 19-14 in. Bloomington will be on the power play for the first minute and 14 seconds of the second. As Abe, the Bloomington mascot, he gets the crowd fired up. Abe is a big Bison. Obviously, they're the Bloomington Bison, and that's exactly what Abe is, as they've got a pretty strong Illinois feel, and I got to imagine Abe is named after one Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States. So really, there wasn't a whole lot that happened statistically in the first period, as Bloomington's going to be on the power play. Bison have struggled on the power play as of late. For the Grizzlies, after this weekend, they will be home for 12 of the final 15 games of the Grizzlies' final hunt. Make sure to get your tickets next week as the Grizzlies will have a 3-game series against the Tulsa Oilers. Next home game for the Grizzlies will be on Thursday, March 12th. That's right, Thursday, a rare Thursday home game for the Grizzlies. They'll take on Tulsa. And then Saturday, March 14th, is going to be Military Night, and that should certainly be a fun atmosphere. The Grizzlies have done a great job on Military Night in recent years. And remember the Military Night miracle the Grizzlies had 2 seasons ago where they overcame a 4-1 deficit by scoring 3 goals in 68 seconds late in regulation. And then Josh Wesley scored the overtime game winner from the left circle in a one-timer. That was about as fun an atmosphere as I've seen over the last decade of Grizzlies hockey. Next road trip for the Grizzlies will be the final road trip ever. They will be in Indy to take on the Fuel. They're going to be in the suburb of Fishers, Indiana, March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. 3 games in 3 days. And then Utah will end the regular season with 9 straight home games. The final fan appreciation night in team history will be on April 11th, the Saturday night against the Rapid City Rush. And the final game in team history will be on April 12th against the Rush. That's going to be a 3:10 start. When we come back, we'll go over some other league scores, and we'll also check out on the handful of National Hockey League games. Colorado Avalanche are in town. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, they're not in town, but they're in action, taking on the Dallas Stars. We'll get an update on that score as well. After one period, there's still no score between the Grizzlies and the Bison. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
No score over at Grossinger Motors Arena as the Grizzlies were outshot in the first period, 14-6. Other action across the league. After 2 periods over at Fishers Event Center, Wichita leads Indy 1-0 as Ryan Finnegan scored 7:31 into the first period. After 2 periods, Jacksonville leads Kalamazoo 4-3 in a wild game. 4 different Jacksonville Icemen have scored goals. Kalamazoo does have 1 power play tally, and after 40 minutes, Jacksonville leads Kalamazoo 4-3. Also, after 2 periods, Maine has a 4-2 lead over Trois-Rivières. Also, after 2 periods, Idaho has a 2-1 lead over Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals. Liam Malmquist and Jade Miller each found the back of the net. Crane scored for Norfolk 14:33 into the second period. After 2 periods, over in South Carolina, Guy Krenz and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators have a 1-1 tie with South Carolina. Joey Cipollone has Atlanta's lone goal. He scored 11:35 into the first period, and Wilkins tied it up for South Carolina 16:25 into the second. They're through 2 periods, and it looks like a good one, tied at 1. Late second period, Toledo has a 2-1 lead over the Grizzlies' opponent the next 2 days, the Cincinnati Cyclones. Villio has Cincinnati's lone tally, as Mosley and Kelly have each found the back of the net for Toledo. We'll get to know Cincinnati quite a bit over the next couple days. The Grizzlies will be in Cincinnati tomorrow night at 5:35, and Sunday afternoon is going to be a 1 o'clock start. That's 1 o'clock Mountain, 3 p.m. Locally in Cincinnati. 14 minutes are left in the second period, and Florida leads Greenville 1-0, and the difference in the game is a goal by former Grizzly Taryn Fizer. He found the back of the net for Florida, 1:54 into the second period. Other action across the league, Kansas City leads Tahoe 1-0. Farrell found the back of the net, 2:02 in for Kansas City. And late first period, Tulsa has a 2-0 lead over the Allen Americans. Tulsa is 17-30-5, but it looks like they're playing pretty good hockey as of late, as Tulsa is 5-3-2 over their last 10 games. Getting underway in about 15 minutes from now, Wheeling is at Rapid City. Rapid City will be the Grizzlies' final opponent ever with a 3-game series on April 10th, 11th, and 12th. Rapid City is 22, 26, 4-1 on the season. We'll come back on the other side and check in on those NHL scores. After one period, over at Grossinger Motors Arena, still no score. Bloomington outshot Utah 13-6 in the first period. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Handful of games in the National Hockey League tonight. Late first period, the Dallas Stars have a 3-1 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Kel McCarr got Colorado on the board first as he scored .333 in. McCarr got his 19th of the year. Nathan McKinnon picked up his 60th assist, and Martin H. just picked up his 46th helper. And then Dallas responded with 3 unanswered, including a power play goal by Miro Heiskanen. Wyatt Johnson got his 34th goal of the year, 10:39 in, and the Stars extended the lead to 3-1, 16:07 into the first period. After one frame, Dallas has 3 goals on 9 shots. They lead the Avalanche 3-1. After 2 periods, Florida and Detroit are tied at 1. Matthew Tkachuk scored 11:06 into the first for Florida. Alex DeBrincat got a power play goal to tie it up, 10:56 into the second. They're through 2 periods, and Detroit and Florida are tied at 1. Detroit has outshot Florida 17-10. After one period, they're just getting underway. No score between Vancouver and Chicago. Both of those clubs were sellers at the trade deadline. At 7 o'clock, Hurricanes are at the Edmonton Oilers. Also at 7 o'clock, the Canadiens take on the Anaheim Ducks. Interesting trade made earlier today where John Carlson, the longtime Washington Capital, was traded to the Ducks. And Anaheim looking to make a playoff push. They've got a record of 34, 24, and 3. The Minnesota Wild were active during the trade deadline. They are championship contenders. They have a record of 36, 16, and 10. They're on the road to take on the 29, 19, and 14 Vegas Golden Knights. Boy, Vegas, they can just figure out overtime. They've got 14 losses past regulation this year. The Blues, they sold quite a bit during the trade deadline period. They are 23, 29, and 9. They are on the road to take on the 30, 25, and 4 San Jose Sharks. And San Jose is right there in the thick of the playoff picture. And if they play well over the last month and a half, they've got a chance of making it in the Western Conference. If you look at the Western Conference standings in the National Hockey League, it's pretty clear the top 3 teams will be in the Central Division. Colorado leads away with 91 points and a 758 point percentage. Dallas is in second place with 85 points and a 697 point percentage. Now about the Minnesota Wild. They have struggled head-to-head against the Utah Mammoth, but the Wild have a record of 36, 16, and 10. They've got 82 points and a 661 point percentage. And because of that, the Utah Mammoth are in that crowded Central Division, and so the Mammoth, really their best chance is to get a wild card spot. And if the playoffs start today, the Mammoth would have that first wild card slot as they've got 70 points and a 565 point percentage. Seattle would have the other wild card slot with 67 points and a 549 point percentage. San Jose and LA, as well as Nashville, those 3 teams have 64 standings points. For San Jose, they do have the best point percentage of the bunch at 542. So it's certainly going to be an interesting race to the playoffs. A couple days ago, Utah picked up Mackenzie Weegar in exchange for Oli Mata and a minor leaguer, as well as a few draft picks. But if you think about it, and somebody made the point on Sportsnet, as I was watching NHL Network, and they had the Sportsnet coverage, and they made a pretty strong point. They had interviewed Mackenzie Weegar at one point there in the show, and they talked about, all the great defensemen in the Central Division. Colorado's obviously loaded, as is Dallas and Minnesota. And so for the Mammoth, obviously, to keep up with the Joneses, they've developed a pretty strong defensive unit in their own right with Sergachev, Sean Dursey. You add Mackenzie Weegar to the mix, and you think about those other defensemen who have been dominant in the plus-minus category, guys like John Marino and Nate Schmidt and Ian Cole. Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting battle for the Western Conference playoffs, and the Utah Mammoth are squarely in the mix. Who knows? Maybe you can get a first-round matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and the Utah Mammoth, as that could turn into quite the rivalry. You almost have a feeling whoever the arch rival of the Utah Mammoth are going to be, it might depend on who they end up playing the first couple times they reach the playoffs. That's certainly how the Avalanche and Red Wings turned out to be a big rivalry, was because they're in the playoffs facing each other head-to-head, it seemed like, every year for about a 6 or 7 season stretch. The lights are out over at Grossinger Motors Arena, and when we come back, we'll have second period action. Still looking for the game's first goal. Remember, Bloomington will be on the power play for the first minute and 16 seconds of the second frame. I'm Tyson Whiting. You're tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
We're about set for second period action, as Utah will be shorthanded for the first minute and 16, although on the score bug it says the first minute 15. Barbashev picked up the penalty 19-14 into the first period as he's in the box serving his tripping minor. For the Grizzlies, they've certainly got to do a job here in the second period. Bloomington has been a good second period club as of late. In fact, the Bison have outscored opponents 17-9 in the second periods over the last 13 games. They are a +6 in the goal differential in the second periods, and the Grizzlies, well, they pretty much broke even in both the first and third periods this season. Unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, they have struggled a bit in the second frame, where they have a -28 goal differential. Utah will start the second period with Tyler Gratton, Reed Webster. Looked like Colby Enns was one of the two defensemen for Utah. Enns led Utah with 2 shots in the first period. Enns leads all Grizzly defensemen with a +2 rating this season. Actually, he's tied for the club lead with Luke Antonacci, who's a scratch tonight. Didn't go over the scratches during the pregame report. We'll go over those here early in the second period. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock as Gratton takes a draw against Eddie Matsushima, who is currently Bloomington's all-time scoring leader. Bison in their second year of existence. Grizzlies won the draw and they fire it in. Utah skating from right to left as we see the game from Flow Sports, and we do ask for a bit of patience. Unfortunately, we are at the mercy of this one camera feed. Tulsa, Bloomington skates in. Matsushima takes a lefty shot, saved by Kaiser. I said Tulsa, as Matsushima for 3 years was a star for the Oilers. As Bloomington, Sullivan Matt gets towards the right corner. Matsushima off the boards. He one-hands it from one corner to the other. As the Bison get it back to Matsushima, he's at the right goal line being challenged by Webster. Puck cuts some air under it. Matsushima gets it back, and he'll slide it towards the left point. Shane Ott fires towards the net, and it's blocked. Now Bloomington to the right wing. They get it down the middle of the ice. Sullivan Mack takes a lefty shot, and it goes high as went over Kaiser's left glove. As the Bison get it to Sullivan Mack. He'll slide it across. One-timer hits the side of the net. As that one-timer, we believe, was taken by Kallian Kovacs. Wearing number 31, he's got 11 goals this season. Kallian Kovacs gets the puck. He'll slide it up top. Bison move it to the right side. One-timer. That one misses over Kaiser's left glove. 5 seconds left in the power play. Shane Ott gets to the right goal line. Matsushima chips it across. Bison try to center it. He glanced up a stick. Flips into the air. And we're back to 5-on-5 skating. Left wing. Righty one-timer. That one trickles wide. Not sure if Kaiser got a piece of it or not. Both teams' penalty kill units have been perfect. Grizzlies are 2 for 2 on the PK, and Bloomington is 1 for 1. Actually, Grizzlies are 1 for 1. Bloomington's 2 for 2. Math is hard sometimes. Right wing, lefty shot, and that one saved by McKay. And after the whistle, some real pushing and shoving. As Barbashev took the shot from the right side, it was saved by McKay. And then after the whistle, Brandon Datema, the big 6'5", 220-pound defenseman, got after it with a Grizzly. If you joined us late, yesterday we celebrated Riley Connors as he won the league's Rookie of the Month award. There's a little bit of action in front of McKay. So they thought that Barbashev got a little bit too close towards McKay, or maybe something like that. Barbashev really wasn't that close. A couple days ago, Neil Shea was released by the AHL's Colorado Eagles, meaning that he's no longer a Grizzly. He signed with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We'll check during the second intermission to see if he's in the lineup for Greenville. So Luke Manning will take the drives out there with Barbashev and John Gillette. John Gillette takes the spot of Neil Shea on that particular forward line, as Grizzlies have had pretty much the same forward line for the most part over the last month, and that's a big reason as to why they average more than 4 goals per game in February. Right wing, righty shot, saved by Kaiser, and he holds on as Bloomington skated to the offensive zone with momentum, got the puck towards the right wing for Luke Felix Denis, and he fired a righty shot trying to get it under Kaiser's right arm, and Kaiser was able to corral the puck as he stops play 2 minutes into the second period. Boy, the Bison had 13 shots in the first period. They're up to 6 so far in the second. So the Bison have outshot Utah 6-1 so far through 2 minutes of the second period. Boy, Kyle Kaiser certainly looked sharp. Not only has he been great with the Grizzlies this season, but he's also been a star with the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Kaiser got the victory for Utah on February 25th against the Tahoe Night Monsters. Late in the second period, it looked like he picked up a lower body injury, but Kaiser recovered quickly, and he's in the Grizzlies lineup, and he's been quick as a cat here tonight. Utah wins the draw. They're in their own zone, skating from right to left. They'll push it out to center ice looking for Genev. It's picked off, and the Bison backhand it back in. Well, there's a guy wearing number 7 for Bloomington who's currently not on the roster. As the Grizzlies ice it, as Datema, he's out there with Chris Ortiz. And draw's going to come back towards Kyle Kaiser after Utah was called for icing with 17:49 left in the second. It's game 55 of 72 for the Grizzlies. Obviously, 3 road games this weekend. Bloomington tonight and Cincinnati tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Utah will be home for 12 of the final 15 games in the regular season. Connors will take the draw against Lou Felix Denis. As puck is pushed out towards center ice, Bison fire it back in. Kaiser plays behind his net, and he'll roll it towards the near corner for Hanson Bukata. He outlets it to Genev, who lifts it to center ice, has went over the stick of Timofeyev, and the Grizzlies will tap it out of play into the Bison bench area near Bloomington head coach Philip Barsky. Assistant coach for Bloomington is Jesse Messier. So faceoff's going to be at center ice. 17:34 is left in the second, as Timofeyev is out there with Genev and Riley Connors. That's been a very productive forward line. And if you think to that February 25th game where Kaiser got the victory, all 3 of those forwards were unbelievable. Genev picked up a career-high 6 points that night, 1 goal and 5 assists. Connors had 2 goals and 2 assists, and Timofeyev had 1 goal and 3 assists, and all 3 of those forwards were a +4 in Utah's 8-3 victory. That's their most recent victory. For Bloomington, their last win was against the Grizzlies at Maverick Center on February 16th, winning 4-3 in overtime. Bison are on a current 6-game losing streak. As towards the near wing, Genev skates out to center ice before he gets it knifed away. Chong-Ming Lee will feed it to his left at center ice. Bison will plop it in as Utah curls himself around the far wing boards, trying to break free. Now out to center ice. Genev gets the puck. He skates towards the right circle. Genev fires lefty shot, and that one goes high and wide. And now the Bison come back the other way. Lee centers it out in front. It bounced off a Matsushima stick. Grizzlies will skate along the left wing. Dylan Gratton over the line. Skates towards the left circle. He tried to fire to the net, and it was blocked by Parker Gavlis. Bloomington back deep in their own zone as they slow things down. 60 minutes and 30 seconds on a moving clock here in the second period. Still no score. Bison have outshot Utah 19-7. Gavlis will move it towards the far side. Now outletting it to center ice. Bison will sky it in as Bloomington Around the boards, the temperature in Bloomington today was 73 degrees. High slot, lefty shots blocked. It was blocked by Mikey Colella's stick. Dancing around is Dylan Gratton as he gets hit behind Kaiser. Puck to the left wing. Bloomington lefty shot gets redirected, and Kaiser makes a save. As Bloomington back to the left point. Now across. Gavlis, he fires a righty shot. And that one is blocked. Not sure if it got towards Kaiser. It might have kicked off the skate of Luke Salem. Bloomington's up to 20 shots. As they skate towards the right corner, now they whip it around to a spot that was vacated by Roby Doo. As Mikey Colella backhands it ahead. It was overled for Yevdokimov. Bloomington races after the puck, and they'll slide it along the boards. Now it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Bloomington towards the right wing. McDonald skates the right goal line, pivots. Now he feeds up top. Bison get it towards the left point. Now they bounce off the boards. Bloomington, one of the better passing teams in the league. As Noel gets the puck off Boilar's stick. Noel dances around in the far corner, and he'll zip it around the wall as one of the linesmen jumps out of the way. Datema tries to play the puck at center ice. He'll bounce it off of Friesen. Datema will back it out into his own zone. Datema was scheduled to be paired up with Chris Ortiz. Icing's going to be on the Bison as they tried to play the puck along the far wing boards. Grizzlies did a good job occupying Bloomington, and in particular, Matu Boilar, one of the strongest players in the league. So faceoffs can be back in the Bison zone, and former Grizzly Dryden McKay. McKay played in 4 games for the Grizzlies earlier this season, and he had a 1-3 record with a .905 save percentage. And McKay has been a stud for Bloomington. In 26 games for the Bison, he has a 14-11-1 record with a .927 save percentage and 2.24 goals against average. Lepster, left wing, he'll take a righty shot, saved by McKay. Now Enns, who had 2 first-period shots, he fires, and it was blocked by Tsukin as puck goes out towards center ice. As Suligan was able to block the shot. We'll spell his name during the next whistle. Tsullygin. Ilya is his first name, wearing number 24 for Bloomington. Bison skates towards the right side. Righty shot. Saved by Kaiser, and the puck trickles out of play with 14 minutes and 29 seconds left in the second. So draws going to be in the Grizzlies zone, and it's really been the Kyle Kaiser show so far for Utah. He has stopped them all, over 20 shots for Bloomington. We mentioned what a job he has done in the AHL with the Colorado Eagles. In fact, Kaiser, in 11 games for Colorado, has an 8-1-1 record with a 1.49 goals against average and .943 save percentage. The Colorado organization, both the Avalanche and the Eagles, just happen to be pretty deep in the goaltending situation. Now we get some real pushing before the faceoff as Andrew Noel getting after it with Brad Morrison. Boy, Noel's been a very spirited player since he joined the Grizzlies. It's his 6th game in a Utah uniform, and he's quickly becoming a fan favorite. Wonder if Noel and Morrison think about dropping the gloves here 5.5 minutes into the second period. They play on as the faceoff is won by Bloomington. As they spin it along the boards, Barbashev will kick it off a skate. John Gillette races towards center ice, drops for Manning. Luke Manning skates towards the right side. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by McKay. And he holds on with 14-15 left in the second. But good effort by the forward line of Gillette, Manning, and Barbashev. For Luke Manning, he's been a strong campaigner for the Grizzlies over the last couple of years. Manning has a goal in 3 of his last 9 games after returning from a lower body injury. In the month of February, Manning was pretty productive, but over his last 14 games, he has 4 goals and 6 assists. Manning's been particularly good at home, where he has a goal in 4 of his last 8 home games. So faceoffs over in the right circle. His fans are having a good time in Bloomington. Pretty modest Friday night crowd. As Manning takes the draw and he wins it. Noel takes it to his right, spins the puck along the boards. Barbashev drops it for the left point as a Grizzly gets hit. Bloomington comes back the other way, 3-on-2 if they want it. Lou Felix Denis. Great poke check by Grizzly. Now down the middle of the ice, righty shot. And that one's blocked off of Kaiser's glove. It stays in play towards the right corner. Still scoreless. 13:53 is the time remaining on a moving clock in the second period. Bloomington trying to get to the middle of the ice, but it was behind Riku Ishida, who scored a goal on February 16th against the Grizzlies. As Boilar tries to muscle his way through a Bison skater. Now Boilar behind Bloomington's net. He gets physical. Both guys cease and desist. Play carries on. Grizzlies throw it up top, but it goes past Connors. Now deep in the Grizzlies zone, Connors runs it down. He gets the puck and skates around Kaiser's net. Connors keeps his head up, stops, pivots, and skates towards his right as he drops it off. As Dylan Gratton over the offensive line throws to the corner and chases after. He gets around one Bison skater. Chris Ortiz took it away from him. Ortiz and Gratton each wear number 25 for their respective teams. Bloomington curls the puck along the far wing boards and goes all the way down for a Bison icing as play stops with 13:07 left in the second. So faceoff's going to come back towards Dryden McKay. Quite a few whistles here early on. Both teams have to like their defensive discipline here so far. Now the three officials will talk it over and figure out where the faceoff's going to be. It looks like the drop, well, as just about the time we wanted to see where the faceoff was going to be. We see some fans in attendance. I think the draw is going to be at center ice. And if it's not icing, then it probably turns into a media timeout. And it looks like there's a timeout. 13:08 left in the second period. Still no score between the Grizzlies and the Bison. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Minutes, 8 seconds are left in the second period. Faceoff's going to be at center ice, no score. This has been the Kyle Kaiser show so far for Utah. Bloomington wins the faceoff. They skate down the middle of the ice as they're being shadowed by a Grizzly defenseman. That's Colby Enns. Actually, it's Luke Salem. As puck towards the right corner. As Salem, he holds his ground. Luke Salem's done an outstanding job for the Grizzlies over the last month. Bloomington skates around Kaiser's net as Salem shadowing like a hawk as Bloomington gets it up top. Right wing, righty shot, and that's blocked by Kaiser. Puck hit opposite the high slots, taken by Bloomington. As Datum up, will slide it towards the left point. Chris Ortiz gets off the boards, trying to get to Kallian Kovacs, who gets the soft pass. Kallian Kovacs gets it back in deep. As Salem shadows a Bloomington forward. Bloomington kicks it literally towards the right corner. As the Bison get double teamed. Now they'll throw it back towards the right corner. Salem holds his ground against the Bloomington skater. I think that's Shane Ott, number 21. Siren pass, lefty shot, saved by Kaiser. Grizzlies come back the other way. Utah skates from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Genev trying to get to Timofeyev, who was occupied. As now Genev behind the net, the Penn State product, first-year pro. Zips it around the boards. Timofeyev chasing after it. Ends look to center. It's taken away by Bloomington. It's Bison cross center ice. Now they enter from the left wing. As Roby Duke tried to feed one out in front. It was behind a Bloomington skater. As on the back check was Timofeyev. Now the Grizzlies with the puck. As they move it to center ice, Bloomington fires it back in. Bloomington in the middle of a line change as they refused to play the puck as they were looked like they were almost had got caught with too many on the ice had they played the puck at neutral ice. As Bloomington gets knifed away by Colby Enns, who's played a strong game, and Enns has had a really good first pro season. Rink-wide feed. Angle right goes to Chong-Ming Lee, who moves it ahead. Mikhail Abramov tried to jump around a Grizzly. Now Abramov gets it in the right point. He's got 4 goals and 7 assists this season. Chong-Ming Lee dances around the left point, pivots, slides it towards his right. Right point. Righty shot's blocked. That shot was taken by... looks like Sung-Ming Lee, who we believed would be a scratch, but he gets the puck right point. He fires a righty shot, save. Rebound, the second attempt goes, Bison score. So Bloomington takes a 1-0 lead. As puck just trickled out in front and getting the goal, it looked like it was Abramov. Mikhail Abramov gets the goal. It's his 5th of the year. And Bloomington leads 1-0 with 10:50 left in the second. Shot was taken from the high slot as Kaiser lost his balance a little bit. And out in front of the crease was Abramov. Puck just kind of drifted towards him, and he was able to put it in the back of the net. So it takes the 23rd shot for Bloomington to get one past Kaiser. So we believe Mikhail Abramov gets his 8th goal of the year. We'll check on the assists in the ECHL app. As the assist, right now it's listed as unassisted, 9-10 into the second period. As Bloomington leads 1-0. Grizzlies are now a minus 29 in the goal differential in the second periods this season. Bloomington skates towards the right wing. As two Grizzlies nearby, Noel and Lepster, as Noel shadows a Bison skater. As Bloomington gets taken off the puck, now the Bison keep it in. Right wing, Datema, he fires a righty shot, and that's sticked away by Kaiser. Puck to the left corner. We're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. Bloomington has 1 goal on 24 shots. Grizzlies only 9 shots on Dryden McKay so far. As Noel gets physical in the far corner, big-time hit delivered by Lepster. As there's less than 10 minutes left in the second period, we pass the halfway point. Bison skeet towards the left corner. They'll bounce one out in front of the crease. Grizzlies clear it towards the far corner, which is the left side. As a Bison chip it towards the left point. They're still in the offensive zone. Lou Felix Denis gets it kicked away by Lepster. And now the puck will slide deeper into the Grizzlies zone. Noel gets thrown to the boards by Felix Denis. As Boilard nudges ahead towards Lepster off his stick. Bloomington to the high slot. Now they'll skeet towards their right. They drop it back up top. Righty shot. That one misses wide. As Bloomington dance around, they get it up top. Lefty shot. And everybody trying to find the puck. It's over towards the left circle. Lepster gets thrown to the corner. Now Reed Lepster gets the puck. And he'll drift it towards Tyler Gratton. Big time hit delivered away from the whistle as Lepster got hit. Gratton throws it on towards McKay, who outlets to center ice. As Manning, he cuts off a Bison skater. Bloomington skates back in. Kalian-Kovacs, he fires left wing righty shot. That one's blocked before it gets to Kaiser. Now left point. That lefty shot goes wide. Grizzlies get the puck off the boards. John Gillette trying to move it ahead, but looked like fanned on the pass. Bloomington, obviously their goal, looks like the Bloomington camera doesn't have a tripod. It's kind of shaking back and forth. Kaiser behind his net. Around the boards off a Bison stick. John Gillette joins the play. Grizzlies will tap it off the glass. It goes over the head of a Bloomington skater as the puck goes out to center ice. Bison fire it back in. As Ishida tried to roll it along the boards and swung and missed. Barbashev stops the Utah line. He'll slide one across. Grizzlies get it ahead. And it goes into the Bison zone, but Utah gets called for icing as play stops with 8 minutes and 11 seconds left in the second. So draw's going to come back towards Kyle Kaiser, who's been a pro for about a half dozen years. Kaiser's been a strong addition to the Grizzlies club, one of 8 goaltenders to be employed by Utah this year. Kaiser in his 7th season as a pro. Played a little bit last season in the KHL. 6'2", 198 pounds. So draws over in the left circle. 8 minutes, 10 seconds left in the second. Fans having a good time in Bloomington. Final meeting ever between the Grizzlies and Bison. Utah be in Cincinnati tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Bloomington wins the draw, but it goes behind the defenseman up top. Grizzlies in a white jersey with white helmets, black numbers, and professional green trim. As Bloomington fires it in, no icing on the play, even though it looked like one of the linesmen had his arm raised. Chong-Ming Lee gets pushed to the corner. He's wearing number 77. Puck goes sliding up top. Ishida skates towards the left side. Now he pivots, gets around, and skates kind of in front of Genev. Now back towards the left corner. 7:40 left in the second period. Bloomington leads 1-0. Right side, lefty shot, and it's blocked in front of Kaiser. As Bloomington kicks to the right corner and chases after a Bison skater, blows a tire. It's Abramov, the goal scorer, as his goal made the difference in the game, 9-10 in. As Bloomington skates towards the right point, they're in the offensive zone. As Lee backhanded to the middle of the ice, it's picked off by Genev. Danny Genev over the line, trying to get to Barbashev, but the puck just skipped over his stick. Riley Connor slices it across. Genev in the right corner. gets it across as Riley Connors over in the corner. Feeds it up top to Hanson Bukata. Over to the high slot. Timofeyev gets to the right wing. Grizzlies skate in. Lefty shot. Saved by McKay. Bloomington gets the rebound. That last shot was taken by Andrew Noel, who's got 1 goal in a Grizzlies uniform in 6 games. Bloomington throws it in. Grizzlies deliver a big hit. As puck goes back towards Bloomington, they're at the Utah line. They'll chip it across. Noel chasing after. He's out there with Colby Enns on this shift. Off a Bloomington stick down to the middle of the ice. Right wing. Lefty shot. That one's blocked away by Kaiser as he sprawled towards his left. As that shot was taken by Shane Ott. Bison towards the left wing. As now they get towards the circle. Whistle blows. We got a penalty on the play. Looks like interference is going to be the call. And who's going to the box? Looks like it's going to be a Utah power play as a Bloomington skater goes towards the penalty box. 6:25 left in the second. Grizzlies will be on the power play on the other side. Bloomington leads 1-0 on Abramov's 5th of the year. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Maverick's new Bean to Cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Grizzlies trail 1-0 with 6 minutes and 25 seconds left in the second period. Utah is on their 3rd power play of the game as Brad Morrison picked up an interference minor, 13:35 into the second period. Grizzlies are averaging a power play goal per game over the last 18 contests. They are 18 for 63 on the power play. Grizzlies have the 6th-ranked power play unit in the league. Friesen wins the draw as Hanson Bukata kept it in, throws it across to Geneva. His one-timer misses wide. Lepser of the puck across to Geneva, who has 18 power play points. Trying to center it to Friesen. It bounced off a Bloomington stick. Now Friesen gets to the right goal line, chips it across. He was looking for Gratton out in front. He got a stick lifted. As Lepser gets up top to Hanson Bukata, who lays it back for Lepser, who fakes a shot. Now he takes one, and that one's blocked. Lepser gets it back. He'll throw it to Geneva in the right corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left during the period. Geneva overlet it to Friesen. Lepser gets it off the boards. He skates around Bloomington's net towards the far side, and he'll lay it for Geneva in the corner. As Danny backhands it to Hanson Bukata, AHB. He'll take a lefty shot blocker saved by McKay. AHB down the middle of the ice. Tried to get to Lepser, passed wide of the mark. It might have kicked off a Bloomington skate. Now the Bison will clear it out to center ice. So the Grizzlies reset. 1:05 left in the power play. Hanson Bukata moves ahead to Gratton, who's just outside the Bloomington line. A nudge it to Geneva. Back to Gratton. Backhand shot goes wide. Gratton has 9 power play goals, which ranks tied for 2nd in the league. Lepser gets up top to Hanson Bukata. Across to Geneva. Cyrus it to Friesen off his stick. Friesen over to Lepser. Lepser dangles back and forth across to Geneva. One-timer and hits the side of the net and the outside of the cage. As Geneva centered to Friesen. Shot and score! Evan Friesen gets his 18th of the year. It's a power play goal as the Grizzlies tied up. Boy, great job by Danny Geneva. Picks up his 17th power play assist of the season as he got the puck towards the right side from Lepser. And let's see, they're showing the replay, but instead of showing Utah's goal, they show a hit behind McKay's net. And when Gratton delivered the hit behind Bloomington's net, he brushed it towards Geneva, who centered to Friesen. And Friesen was able to put it away for his 18th of the year. Geneva and Gratton are each going to pick up an assist. For Danny Geneva, it's his team leading 35th assist this year. And for Tyler Gratton, it's not a power play goal, but it's a power play point. He now has 19 assists on the year. As Bloomington skates over the offensive line, left wing, siren pass, lefty shot that goes wide, might have ricocheted off Kaiser. So Utah gets a power play goal to tie it up. They are now 1 for 3 on the power play tonight as Friesen scored his 18th of the year, 14:57 in. Scrum in the right corner of the Grizzlies zone as Dylan Gratton looking nearby along with John Gillette. Luke Salem holding his ground along with Luke Manning. Now Bloomington gets up top. Ishida, he wears number 80. He'll slide it to the left point, back to Ishida, who skates towards the left point, and he backhands it in deep. Salem shadows a Bloomington skater. Barbashev in the area, as well as Luke Manning and a couple Bloomington skaters. As Manning trying to one-hand it away. Now Bloomington skates towards the left point. They're in the offensive zone. They drop it off. Salem tries to box Bloomington out of the puck. Now the Bison skate around Utah's net. They one-hand it towards Kaiser, who covers up. Kyle Kaiser makes a stop. He's done a great job keeping the Grizzlies in this one. Evan Friesen with a power play goal. He now has 18 on the season. He scored 14:57 in with Genev, and Gratton gained the assist. It's anybody's game. We're tied at 1 with 4:04 left in the second. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
You're tied at 1 with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in the second period. Evan Friesen got his 5th power play goal of the year, 14:57 in. Gratton picked up his 7th power play assist. That's Tyler, the older brother of Dylan, as Gratton now gets his 16th power play point. And for Danny Genev, he breaks a tie with Aiden Hansen-Buchanan for the club lead in power play assists. Genev now has 17 on the year. Genev leads Utah with 52 points, 17 goals, and 35 assists. Puck at center ice, Timofeyev. He'll twirl it in as the puck gets about 6 feet of air under it, and it's gloved about ankle high by Dryden McKay. Good job by Timofeyev floating it forward to get Utah an offensive zone draw as play stops with 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in the second. Well, you knew it was just a matter of time before the Grizzlies power play got rolling here in the one-game stop in Bloomington. Like, Grizzlies are so used to playing baseball-style 2- and 3-game series. That's a little bit odd when the Grizzlies just have one game in a particular series, as they do with Bloomington. Grizzlies will be in Cincinnati tomorrow. The Grizzlies will have about a 5-hour bus ride from Bloomington to Cincinnati. Cyclones have to make a bus ride as well, as they are in Toledo tonight. We'll go over that score during the second intermission, as both the Grizzlies and Cyclones will play 3 games in less than 48 hours. Remember, Sunday, they moved the clock ahead, so it's 1 less hour of rest for both the Grizzlies and Cyclones this weekend. Bloomington, oddly enough, doesn't play the rest of this weekend. Their next game is on March 10th. Timofeyev, left wing, he fires righty shot. Glove saved by McKay, and he will snatch it and hold on with 3:42 left in the second. Well, goals are going to be at a premium tonight. When you talk about the goaltending matchup of Kyle Kaiser and Dryden McKay, doesn't matter whether Kaiser's playing for the Grizzlies or with Colorado. He's been outstanding in just about every game he's been in. He has saved 24 of 25. And for Dryden McKay, the former Hobie Baker Award winner, unfortunately for him, the only thing that probably keeps him away from being an AHL goaltender full-time is his size. He is listed at 6 feet, 183 pounds. Unfortunately, he may be generously listed at 6 feet. Unfortunately, scouts and teams of the NHL and AHL, they kind of look at prototypes, and McKay doesn't quite fit that physically. But boy, what he can get to, he stops, and he's done a great job this season with Bloomington. Connors will take the face-off. Obviously, we talked with Dryden McKay quite a bit before the season as he started the year with the Grizzlies, and he's about as good a guy as it gets. Grizzlies won the draw, but it goes past Danny Genev, who races after the puck. And he'll slice it ahead. Camera operator doing a bad job moving towards their left. And now the Grizzlies get the puck. Camera's shaking a little bit, so it's a little bit tough to spot who's who, especially on those long-range passes. Noel gets it ahead, but it goes just towards the Bloomington line. Bison feed it back to the center ice logo. Utah moves it ahead. They're stepping over the offensive line. Right wing, righty shot. Now saved by McKay. He holds on. I believe that was Timofeyev that took the shot from the right side. Timofeyev and McKay were teammates last season with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. During the second intermission, we'll check to see if Nils Shea has gotten the job done in the scoring sheet. We believe he's making his Greenville debut. As it was just one of those moves. I'm not sure about the particulars or really the story behind it, but he was released from his AHL contract with Colorado, essentially making him a free agent, and Greenville picked him up. As Bloomington wins the draw, as they'll skate out to center ice. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the second period. As Grizzlies backhanded in deep. Nobody scored in the first period. Bloomington took a 1-0 lead as Abramov scored 9-10 in. And then obviously the power play goal by Evan Freese in 14:57 in. As puck will go back to the Bison zone. We mentioned the second period discrepancies. Bloomington's been outstanding in the second frame. The Grizzlies are struggled, but both teams have a goal. Bloomington skates around Kaiser's net with Aiden Hansen-Mukata shadowing Bloomington's Parker Gavlis, who's been active tonight, as Bloomington gets it across. As the Bison cross center ice and throwing it in is number 9, Colin Ferguson, who played a great series in mid-February against the Grizzlies at Maverick Center. Bloomington's in the offensive zone. They try to get up top, but tapped off of Yevdokimov stick. Now Yevdokimov gets it back. He'll slide it ahead to center ice before the Bison fire it back in. Yaroslav Yevdokimov, his arm is raised by one of the linesmen. It wasn't the referee that raised his arm. It looked like icing is the call. With 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second, action will come back into the Bison zone. For watching on Flow Sports, there's Kyle Kaiser. What a job he's done not only with the Grizzlies, but with the Colorado Eagles this year. Kaiser last year played in the KHL. Didn't necessarily have a great mark statistically at an .896 save percentage. 2 years ago, played in 5 games with Providence in the AHL and 16 games with Maine in this league. Kaiser has appeared in games with Providence in 5 different years, from 2019 through 2024. As Bloomington gets the draw, they'll skate out towards center ice. Bison over the offensive line. They tried to move it out in front and swung and missed. As Bloomington back towards the left point, hasn't necessarily been a clean played game in terms of passing and stick handling and things of that nature. It's been a little bit sloppy in that regard. Datema throws to the right point. Now back towards Datema, who faked a one-timer and essentially faked his teammate out. Grizzlies get it ahead, out towards the right circle. Grizzlies dangling back and forth as Gratton fires it out in front. Shot and a score! Is that Dylan Gratton? He centered it out in front as he was looking for his brother, Tyler Gratton. Is that going to be Dylan Gratton's first as a pro? You bet. Save that puck, DJ McFarland, as Dylan Gratton gets his first pro goal, and the Grizzlies take a 2-1 lead. Gratton tried to center it, and he kicked off the skate of Brad Morrison. Looked like Dylan Gratton tried to either find Lebster or Friesen out in front. Dylan Gratton fired it off the skate of a Bloomington skater, and you bet Dylan Gratton is fired up. The University of Vermont product gets his first pro goal, and the Gratton family has to be thrilled with that. Tyler Gratton, his brother, picked up an assist earlier in the second period, and Dylan Gratton with his first pro goal as Utah leads 2-1. Grizzlies cross center ice, and they'll throw it in. As the Bison still in their own zone, they'll chip it towards center ice. As Bloomington will slice one angle left. Noel chases after it behind Utah's net. Play continues with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on a moving clock here in the second period. Dylan Gratton is the 12th different Grizzly skater to score his first pro goal this season. About half of them have been defensemen. Left point, it's teed up, righty shot. That one goes wide. A lot of traffic out in front of Kaiser. Grizzlies will float it forward as they're looking for Barbashev. It was overled for him. As Bloomington gets control of the puck, they cross center ice. Now they step in on the left wing. Bloomington's Chongming Lee skates towards the corner. About 50 seconds left in the second period. As nobody was home in the far point, Bloomington will have to reset. So we talked about the second period struggles for the Grizzlies, but knock on wood, it's 2-1 so far. Bloomington skates around Kaiser's net as Boilard knocks down a Bison skater. That's going to be a penalty. Referee Cameron Fleming raised his right arm, and Boilard delivered a hit as Bloomington was skating around Kaiser's net towards the near side. It was Abramov, the goal scorer, that went down, And it looks like Boilar is going to go to the box. Two minutes for holding. Time of penalty, 19:28 into the second period. So it's going to be a Bloomington power play. It's their second power play of the game. I mentioned it's the 12th different Grizzlies skater scoring their first pro goal. 6 of the 12 have been defensemen. It's the first time a Grizzly player had scored their first pro goal since Mike Gillette back on February 4th in Tahoe. So Dylan Gratton looked like he was trying to center it to Friesen for his second of the game. And it kicked off the skate of Brad Morrison and went into the back of Bloomington's net. Draws over in the left circle, and it's won by Bloomington. Less than half a minute left in the second period. Grizzlies lead 2-1. Sullivan Mack skates towards the right circle, pivots, does a bit of a half circle, slide it to the right goal line. Bloomington tried to feed it out in front. Grizzlies get a stick in the way. As Friesen gets spun around, as Mack tried to plop one across, nobody was hanging out in front of Kaiser's net. And now battle along the left corner. 7 seconds left in the period. Puck goes up top. Bloomington gets it back towards the right side and ricocheted off Shane Ott's stick. Ott gets the puck back and thought about firing towards the net, but time runs out in the second period. Bloomington will have the power play for the first minute and 28 seconds of the third frame. As Bloomington started the second period on the power play, and they'll start the third on the man advantage as well. Well, how about it for the Grizzlies? Dylan Gratton gets his first pro goal, 18-18 in, assisted by his brother Tyler Gratton. Boy, what a night for the Gratton family. Tyler now has 2 assists, and for Dylan Gratton, it's a night he'll never forget. His goal has made the difference in the game. And how about Kyle Kaiser? He's done an outstanding job keeping the Grizzlies in it. Utah's been a strong road club this season, and they've got a lead going into the third period. When leading after 2 periods on the road this season, the Grizzlies have a record of 10-1-2. Oddly enough, the Grizzlies have only had a lead after 2 periods at home twice, but the Grizzlies, this is the 14th game on the road this season where the Grizzlies have led after 2 periods. We'll come back and recap what's happened over the first 40 minutes. There wasn't much statistically in the first frame. Action certainly picked up in the second. Good goaltending matchup between Kaiser and Dryden McKay. And right now the Grizzlies have 2 unanswered goals from Evan Friesen and Dylan Gratton. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; AthleticNet, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Good first 40 minutes for the Grizzlies as we're after 2 frames over at Grossinger Motors Arena, and Utah leads Bloomington 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the Professional Green Studios. I'm here at Maverick Center, 1 time zone away. I'll be 2 time zones away tomorrow as the Grizzlies will be in the Queen City taking on the Cincinnati Cyclones. Nobody scored in the first period. Bloomington outshot Utah 13-6. In the second frame, Bloomington had a 12-10 edge in the shot counts. First goal of the game was scored by Mikhail Abramov. He scored 9-10 in. Chongming Lee and Parker Gavlis each picked up the assist. So Lee and Gavlis with the assists on the Abramov goal. That was 9-10 into the second. Grizzlies got a power play late in the second period as Brad Morrison got an interference minor, 13:35 in. And the Grizzlies picked up a power play goal. It was 14:57 in. Tyler Gratton had the puck behind Bloomington's net, just kind of nudged it towards his left to Geneva, who was hanging out in the corner. Friesen was in the slot as he was about 5 feet in front of the crease. Geneva found Friesen out in front, and Friesen shoveled it past Dryden McKay for Utah's first goal. As Friesen gets his fifth power play goal of the year, and he now has 18 goals in the season. Friesen is now second in the club in goals with 18. Reed Webster leads Utah with 28 goals. Friesen came into play tied with Geneva for second in the club. And for Friesen, he now has 5 power play goals and 18 overall this season. And for Danny Geneva, it's another power play point with an assist. He now has 35 assists this season and 17 power play helpers. Tyler Gratton picked up the secondary assist. Gratton now has 19 assists on the season. So Friesen tied it up, 14:57 in. Grizzlies have won the special teams battle as they are 1 for 3 on the power play, and they're listed as being 2 for 2. They're in the middle of their second power play as Boiler got a holding minor, 19:28 in. Oddly enough, the score bug, it's got a minute 28. Their math is right. My math was wrong, as I had thought that maybe there wasn't a minute 28 left in the Bloomington power play, but that's what it is to start the third period. Later on in the second, Dylan Gratton skated along the right side. He tried to find Evan Friesen out in front, and Gratton's centering pass ricocheted off the skate of Brad Morrison and into the back of Bloomington's net. So you can say that Morrison indirectly has been responsible for both of Utah's goals. He picked up the penalty that led to Utah's power play goal, and then Morrison with the skate ricocheted the puck into the back of Utah's net. For Dylan Gratton, that's a moment he's never going to forget, as he picked up his first professional goal, and the lone assist right now is listed as Tyler Gratton. That's right, Dylan Gratton's older brother gets the assist on what should be the first of many for Dylan Gratton. It appears he's going to be a pro for quite some time. So Dylan Gratton, congratulations. He's the 12th different Grizzly to get his first pro goal this season. 6 of the 12 are defensemen. It's the first goal for Dylan Gratton since the 2024-25 season, where he scored 2 goals in 35 games at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. In 2 years at Penn State, he had 5 goals in 69 games. But obviously, you see at the college level, a lot of defensemen, they contribute in ways that are not statistical. It seems like every college program, they'll tout block shots and things of that nature. But Dylan Gratton looks like he's got an ability, not only with the speed and quickness, but he seems like he sees the game pretty well. And I think Dylan Gratton's going to be a solid pro for many years to come. So he picked up his first pro goal, 18-18 in, with his brother Tyler Gratton getting the assists. So going into the second period, we had talked about how Bloomington had dominated second periods over the last month, and the Grizzlies had kind of struggled in the second period. But hey, the tables turned. Bloomington scored the first goal of the game, and the Grizzlies responded with 2 unanswered. Utah's got a record of 10-1-2 on the road when leading after 2 periods. And overall, the Grizzlies are 12-1-2 when leading after 40 minutes of play. We expect goals to be at a premium here tonight with the good goaltending matchup. Kyle Kaiser has saved 24 of 25, and Bloomington's Dryden McKay, he has saved 14 of 16. So we'll see what happens here in the third period. Grizzlies do have to kill off a penalty in the first minute and 28 seconds of the third period. A lot of action across the league. Neil Shea is in the uniform of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits tonight. He wore number 22 for the Grizzlies earlier this year, but Shea is wearing number 27 for Greenville tonight. There's currently 16 minutes left in the third period, and Florida leads Greenville 3-0. The first goal for the Everblades tonight was scored 1:54 into the second period, and it was scored by former Grizzly Taryn Fizer. Cooper and Penny have each found the back of the net for Florida. And early in the third period, Florida leads Greenville 3-0. After 2 periods over at Cable Dama Arena, Kansas City and Tahoe are tied at 2. Jake McGrew and Sloan Stanek each had second period tallies for Tahoe. Farrell had a first period goal for Kansas City, and Jackson Berezowski found the back of the net 19:30 into the second period. They have a barn burner over in Kansas City as the Night Monsters and Mavericks are tied at 2. Also after 2 frames, Tulsa leads Allen 2-1. As the Oilers had 2 first period goals, Danny Caddick found the back of the net with 29 seconds left in the first period. Grizzlies will face Tulsa in a 3-game series next week at Maverick Center. Remember, the next Grizzlies home game will be March 12th to open up a 3-game set with Tulsa. Remember, that's a rare Thursday home game. Military Night's going to be on Saturday, March 14th. Then the Grizzlies will have a March 15th, 3 o'clock Sunday start. Remember, there's going to be a post-game skate with the team after the game. Tulsa's actually played pretty good hockey as of late, as they are 5-3-2 in their last 10 games. And after 40 minutes over at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, it's Tulsa 2, Allen 1. After 1 period, Wheeling has a 3-1 lead over Rapid City. It's been a great year for former Grizzly Craig Armstrong. He has scored his 12th of the year for Wheeling. That broke a 1-1 tie exactly 6 minutes into the first period. Former Grizzly Ryan Wagner, as Rush's lone goalie, scored 4:54 into the first period. After 20 minutes of the Monument, Wheeling leads Rapid City, 2 of the league's bigger markets. 3-1's the score. Other action across the league, late third period, Toledo leads Cincinnati 3-1. Obviously, the Grizzlies will face Cincinnati over the next 2 days. 5:35 is going to be the face-off time on Saturday, and Sunday afternoon is going to be at 1 p.m. South Carolina scores 3 unanswered third-period goals, 4 unanswered overall as they defeat Guy Carenza and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators 4-1. As South Carolina gets the victory, that's a potential playoff battle in the South Division. South Carolina picks up their 36th win of the year. The record goes to 36-18-1, and Atlanta falls to 35-16-1. Late third period, Idaho and Norfolk are in a barn burner. They are tied at 3. Balmquist, Miller, and Pelton Bice have the Idaho goals. Norfolk's got goals from 3 different skaters. There's half a minute left in regulation, and Idaho and Norfolk are tied at 3. Maine gets a 5-3 win over Trois-Rivières. Lampa had 2 goals for the Mariners in the victory. Jacksonville and Kalamazoo are currently in overtime, tied at 5. So that game, both teams get a standing point. They're currently in the middle of overtime. Jacksonville and Kalamazoo tied at 5. Wichita gets a 1-0 victory over Indy as Indy outshot Wichita 33-12, but nobody found the back of the net for the Indy Fuel as Carriere picked up a 33-save shutout for the Wichita Thunder. The lone goal in the game was scored by Ryan Finnegan, 7:31 into the first period. We'll come back and go over the handful of National Hockey League games. Today was the NHL trade deadline. Mammoth didn't make a deal today, although a couple days ago they picked up Mackenzie Weegar from the Calgary Flames. Colorado Avalanche made a deal today, picking up Nazem Kadri from the Calgary Flames, and that should certainly help out the Colorado Avalanche forward units. We'll come back and have the NHL scores on the other side. After 2 periods, the Grizzlies have a 2-1 lead as they got second period goals from Evan Friesen and the first pro goal from Dylan Gratton, which was assisted by his older brother Tyler Gratton. The Grizzlies captain Tyler Gratton has an assist in both of Utah's second period goals. We'll see if the Grizzlies can hold on to the 2-1 lead on the other side as we'll go over some NHL scores. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
After After 2 periods, Utah leads Bloomington 2-1. They got a wild one going on in the Lone Star State as the Dallas Stars have a 4-3 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan McKinnon has picked up a point in each of Colorado's 3 goals. He has 1 goal and 2 assists. He got his 42nd goal of the season, 19:58 into the first period. It was a power play goal. Martin Necas also has 3 points tonight, as Necas has 1 goal and 2 assists. He's up to 28 goals and 47 assists on the year. And Kel McCarr has found the scoring sheet with a multiple-point game as he has 1 goal and 1 assist. So that's going to be a fun one over in the third period as Dallas, after 2 periods, leads Colorado 4-3. After 20 minutes of play over in Chicago, Vancouver has a 3-2 lead over Chicago. Both teams were sellers during the trade deadline, and so that's an interesting one. Both teams had 7 shots. Vancouver leads Chicago 3-2 after 20 minutes. Also, after 20 minutes of play, Hurricanes have a 2-1 lead over the Oilers. Late first period, Canadians and Ducks are tied at 2. Getting underway at 8 o'clock, so a few minutes from now, the Wild are at the Golden Knights, and the Blues are at the San Jose Sharks. One final in the National Hockey League. Panthers get 2 third-period goals, and they defeat Detroit 3-1. All 3 of Florida's goals were scored by Matthew Tkachuk, as he picked up goals 6, 7, and 8 on the season. His third goal was unassisted with 1:52 left in regulation. So essentially, you can say it's Matthew Tkachuk 3 and the Detroit Red Wings 1. Detroit's lone goal was scored by Alex DeBrincat, 10:56 into the second period. So that's action across the National Hockey League. Tomorrow, the Utah Mammoth will take on the Columbus Blue Jackets at 5 o'clock. Avalanche are not in action tomorrow, but Colorado will be back on the ice on Sunday with a noon start against the Minnesota Wild in a potential playoff preview. Over in Bloomington, the Grizzlies have a 2-1 lead. Obviously, Utah has been a strong road club this season, where they are 15-12-3 away from Maverick Center. Bloomington will be on the power play for the first minute and 28 seconds of the third period. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll come back and have third period action on the other side. You've been listening to the Second Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
We're about set for third period action over at Grossinger Motors Arena as Utah Grizzlies have a 2-1 lead. Bloomington took a 1-0 lead, 9-10 into the second period as Mikhail Abramov got his 5th goal of the year. Grizzlies tied it up with an Evan Friesen power play goal, 14:57 in, with Tyler Gratton and Danny Genev each picking up the assists. Utah took a 2-1 lead as Dylan Gratton scored his first pro goal, 18-18 in, as he centered it out in front and ricocheted off the skate of Brad Morrison. Dylan Gratton's older brother, Tyler, picked up the lone assist. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock, and we do ask for a little bit of patience as unfortunately we are at the mercy of the one camera feed over in Bloomington. It's the final meeting ever between the Grizzlies and Bison. Utah will be in Cincinnati later on this weekend. Fans are having a good time. We got a good goaltending matchup. Kyle Kaiser has saved 24 of 25. And Dryden McKay, he's had a solid game for Bloomington. He has saved 14 of 16. Bison win the draw. They're on the power play to start the third period as Bloomington skates over the offensive zone. As Sullivan Mack off his stick, now the puck goes towards Lee, who picked up one assist in the second period. As Lee loses control of the puck as Reed Webster clears it back towards the Utah line. Grizzlies with 5 shorthanded goals this season. Bloomington enters from the left wing as Kalyankovics chases after along with Colby Enns. Kalyankovics wears number 31 for Bloomington. As puck up top, as Ott will slide it towards the right point. Less than a minute left in Bloomington's power play. As Ott will feed it towards the right circle. It bounced off the stick of a Bison skater. I think that's Sullivan Mack. Grizzlies tapping off the glass. Puck up at the opposite left point. And it rolls over Shane Ott's stick. He'll have to regather it at neutral ice. As Bloomington at neutral ice, they cross center and chip it in as they switch up skaters. Hanson kind of gets there about the same time as the Bison skater. Colby Enns will slide one ahead towards the near wing. Grizzlies pushing out to center ice. Off the stick, John Gillette chasing after it. McKay behind his net. Gillette took it away. John Gillette wraparound shot saved by McKay. Bloomington gathers the puck late in the power play. John Gillette, one of 4 Grizzly skaters to have appeared in every game this season. Gillette, Webster, Genev, and the fourth is Evan Friesen. Those 4 forwards have appeared in every game. Boilar's out of the box, and the Grizzlies are back to full strength. Boilar dumps it in. As a Bison skate around their net, Lou Felix Denis. He's an outstanding skater, crosses center ice, steps over the offensive blue, gets around one Grizzly. Cyrus out in front, backhand shot, and not sure if Kaiser got a piece of it. Right wing, righty shot, blocker saved by Kaiser. Aiden McDonald danced around to the left corner. He's being shadowed by a Grizzly. We're 2 minutes into the third period. Utah still leads 2-1. Bison in the right point, fires lefty shot, blocker saved by Kaiser. Arm is raised by the referee. It's going to be a penalty, and who's it on? It looked like there's a battle out in front of Kaiser. Trying to figure out who's going to the box. It looks like it's going to be, boy, dramatic pause. Still trying to figure out who's going to the box. So holding's the call, and it's Dylan Gratton. He's going to go to the box for 2 minutes as there's 17:52 left in the third. So it's Utah's second penalty kill of this third frame. And Dylan Gratton, who scored his first pro goal 18-18 in. That goal has made the difference in the game. Now he's in the box. So the Grizzlies penalty kill is going to have to do a job here. As it draws over in the far circle. Evan Friesen crouches down low. Grizzlies penalty kill coming into play tonight was 78.4%. Bloomington's power play is 17.9%, but they were only 12% in the month of February. Bloomington wins the draw as they're over in the right corner as they skate in on towards Kaiser. They fake a shot on Kaiser. Now they crawl to the right side. Righty shot saved by Kaiser off his right pad. As Bloomington keeps it in. Felix Denis off his stick. Ortiz will move it to the right wing. Now back up top to Ortiz. High slot, lefty shot and a score. And the Bison tied up. Might have gotten redirected out in front by Aiden McDonald. It looks like it's McDonald heading to the celebration aisle first. It's a power play goal with 17:29 left in the third, and we're tied at 2. As shot was taken from the high slot, redirected by McDonald as Kaiser was sprawling towards his left. McDonald did a great job taking away the vision of Kaiser as McDonald redirected the Lou Felix Denis shot. I think it was Chris Ortiz actually in the high slot. Denis had handled the puck quite a bit. He might get the secondary assist. As McDonald, he's a presence out in front of the net as he goes 6'4" and 215 pounds. He redirects the Chris Ortiz shot. So both teams have a power play goal tonight, and we're tied at 2 here early in the third period. Bloomington will slide it deep to Grizzlies ice. Colby Enns gets it and stops behind Kaiser's net. Head towards Danny Genev, who crossed the center ice, and on the back check, Bloomington took it away. Looks like Genev's got an A on his white sweater. Luke Manning. Actually, it was Manning and not Genev. Neil Shea was wearing an A for the Grizzlies. Not sure who's got the other A tonight. And obviously, Tyler Gratton's wearing the captain's C. Left wing, lefty shot by Manning. Glove saved by McKay. And he will hold on to stop play with 16 minutes and 58 seconds left in regulation. So it's anybody's game when we talked about the goaltending of both clubs. Boy, Bloomington, it's kind of surprising to see them lose 7 in a row as they've been a strong goaltending unit all year. They've got a team save percentage of .906. So Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Barbashev and John Gillette. Boy, John Gillette's been an impressive first-year pro. As we mentioned, one of 4 Grizzlies players to have appeared in every game this season. He's got 10 goals and 9 assists in 54 games. So Manning will take the draw against Chong-Ming Lee as the linesman drops the puck and says, "My bad, we'll do it over again." And Manning might have gotten kicked out of the face-off circle. Bloomington, oddly enough, will not play until Tuesday night. They're going to have the rest of the weekend off. For the Grizzlies, they get on a bus after the game, head 5 hours to the Queen City, and they will take on the Cincinnati Cyclones over the next 2 days. Off the draw, lefty shot. Glove saved by McKay. As Gillette took the face-off after Manning was kicked out of the face-off circle, and Manning took the shot, and McKay made a glove save. So 16:54 is left in the third. Face-off once again in the left circle, and once again it's John Gillette taking for Utah. As the draw this time's won by Bloomington. As they'll fire it off the glass, puck hipping up towards Andrew Noel, kicks it with his skate. As Bloomington enters from the left wing, Matsushima stops to avoid a check. Now Matsushima gets the puck, and he'll bounce it off the stick of Luke Manning. Now the Bison skate along the left wing. They'll chip it across. Bloomington's in the offensive zone. Right wing, righty shot. And a blocker save might have gotten kicked off of Kaiser. Now the puck will trickle to the middle of the ice. Gillette has it knifed away by Abramov, who had Bloomington's second period goal. Lee gets up top now across the middle of the ice. Bloomington fires a lefty shot, and it's blocked. I think that shot was taken by Matsushima, who has 15 goals and 18 assists this year. Bloomington at their own blue line, get it ahead as Barbashev battled with the Bison skater. The puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Both teams will switch up skaters. Grizzlies get it ahead as it ricochets off of Yevdokimov's stick. McKay will drift the puck. Yevdokimov played it with a high stick, but it's Bloomington that gets the puck. Lou Felix Denis dumps it in as the puck goes to the right corner. Dylan Gratton spins around a Bison skater as Yevdokimov gets pinned to the boards. Actually, it was Mike Gillette that got pinned to the boards. Yevdokimov gets the puck. He'll slide it towards Mike Gillette. Gillette hands it ahead, but it's immediately played by Chris Ortiz. As the Bison cross center ice and hit Salem in the back. Bloomington skates along the right wing, gets around Hanson Bukata. Righty shot, bounced off of Kaiser. It stays in play as Ortiz will fire it across off the wall. As Bloomington's in the offensive zone, they switch up skaters. Now the Grizzlies come up with it. Mike Gillette lumbers across center ice. He'll pitch it to his left. As Yevdokimov tried to get it back to Mike Gillette, but Utah just got pinned to the boards a little bit too much as Mike Gillette couldn't get the puck. Bloomington, rink-wide feed, angle rights, picked off by Utah. Now the puck goes back to Bloomington in their own zone as Ortiz gets around Timofeyev. Ortiz, rink-wide feed, angle right, trickles off the stick, and it goes out of play into the Grizzlies bench near backup goaltender Hunter Miska. 14:58 left in the third. It's great to see Kyle Kaiser back out there, as it was Kaiser that got injured on February 25th in a game the Grizzlies won 8-3. He was the winning goaltender as he picked up his 6th victory of the season. He saved 13 of 15 in the first 2 periods. Hunter Miska replaced him in the third frame and stopped 19 of 20. And Miska got the start in each of Utah's last 2 games against the Tahoe Night Monsters. And Miska did a good job on both Friday and Saturday night last week in keeping the Grizzlies in the games. Unfortunately, from Utah's perspective, they just had 2 goals in the last 2 games. 1 goal in each of the 2 nights, last Friday and Saturday, and losses to the Tahoe Night Monsters. Grizzlies zip one ahead. Puck goes towards Lepster, gets it knifed away. As the puck trickles off the boards, Bloomington crosses center ice. Why they pass the puck pretty quickly. Left wing, righty shot by Lee. And that one ricochets off Kaiser, and it goes out of play. Might have hit off the stick of Colby Enns, who was shadowing like a hawk Chong-Ming Lee out of Seoul, Korea. so far lead this season. Has 5 goals and 10 assists in 21 games. I think he picked up 1 second period assist for the Bison. So once again, Kyle Kaiser's done a great job keeping the Grizzlies in this one. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there, as the Grizzlies have had a busy weekend. Now remember, after Sunday's game in Cincinnati, Grizzlies will be home for 12 of their final 15 games. So face-off's going to be in the left circle. Fans are having a good time. We'll get to know the Cincinnati Cyclones quite a bit tomorrow. They were trailing Toledo 3-1 late in the third period. That game is in Toledo, so both the Grizzlies and Cyclones will be traveling after tonight's games. Kalian Kovacs picks up the draw for Bloomington against Friesen as a faceoff kicks off of Kaiser's right pad. Kyle Kaiser about as quick and agile as any goaltender in the league, and even though it looked like he suffered a lower body injury last week, looks like he's been pretty sharp. Right wing, lefty shot and a score. Or did Kaiser make the stop? Now we get a fight over in the right corner. I think Kaiser made the save. Boy, trying to see if the goal light went off, and Kaiser made an unbelievable stop. Kalian Kovacs is going after it with Andrew Noel. As the linesmen are going to step in, as Noel throws an uppercut at Kalian Kovacs. His first name is Mark. And well, there was a shot towards the right point, and somehow it looked like Kyle Kaiser sprawled towards his left and made an unbelievable save. And then after the whistle, Kalian Kovacs and Noel got in a fight, and everybody kind of stepped in. It looked like everybody was racing towards the corner to kind of break up the action. Kalian Kovacs and Noel got after it. Well, Kalian Kovacs with his glove was throwing one right after another on Noel. I'm not sure if they're going to show the amazing save that it appeared Kyle Kaiser made. So it looks like they each get matching roughing minors and will probably skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. But I'd love to see a replay of that Kyle Kaiser save. Didn't get a great look at it. I was trying to kind of look behind Kaiser's net to see if the goal light went off. Well, for a second, I thought the goal light went off, but it appears that Kaiser made an incredible stop. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we're going to get a replay of that Kaiser save. It's still a 2-2 game. As Kalian Kovacs and Andrew Noel each get roughing minors. So we're early in the third period. We're tied at 2. Bloomington's outshot Utah 28-18. As Grizzlies will have the captain, Tyler Gratton, out there. It's a multiple-point game for Gratton, as he picked up 2 second-period assists. For Tyler Gratton, that's his 9th multiple-point game this season. Dana Genev leads Utah with 14 multiple-point games. Reed Lebster has 11 multiple-point contests. Now Tyler Gratton, with 2 assists tonight, he's up to 9 on the season. Aiden Hansen-Buchanan and Stepan Timofeyev each have 6 multiple-point games. You almost get the feeling there's something interesting going on the ice. At the very least, a lengthy conversation. Unfortunately, we're just seeing fans in attendance. We are at the mercy of this video feed, and unfortunately, there were some key details that went missing. I'm pretty sure I would have had a good view on that last shot. I wish we saw a replay of what looked to be an incredible save by Kyle Kaiser. Because at first glance, I had thought that Bloomington had found the back of the net. I thought they were starting a celebration, but instead they were going to kind of surround Kalian Kovacs and Andrew Noel in their battle out in the corners. Kalian Kovacs was punching away one right after another with his glove on, as Noel was just kind of taking the blows. So faceoff's going to be in the Bloomington zone. So I wonder if the Grizzlies are going to get a power play out of this. So it looks like there are 4 Bison on the ice. I think the Grizzlies have a power play, maybe 2 minutes. Utah wins the draw. Is a Utah power play. Hansen-Buchanan drops off to the left wing as Reed Lebster skates towards the corner far side, back up top to AHB. He fires lefty shot, and that one's blocked away by McKay. Friesen gets the puck. He'll toss it back up top. Hanson Bukata drops it back to Lebster, who has 6 power play goals this season. He bounces one across. Hanson Bukata couldn't reach it. Genev throws it to Friesen back to AHB, who glides it towards Gratton. Now Genev hangs out on the right side near the corner. He'll backhand it up top to AHB. Over to Genev. He's just outside the right circle as he fires towards the net. And saved by McKay. Now Friesen skates around Bloomington's net. The scorebook says 4-on-4, and it's pretty clear it's a Grizzlies power play. Bloomington ices the puck, and puck goes all the way down. If it was 4-on-4, Bloomington would have just gotten called for icing, but obviously the scorebook is wrong. It is a Utah power play for the next minute, 20 seconds. As the puck goes, the camera operator has absolutely no clue where the puck is right now. Because of that, I have no clue. As the puck goes into the Bloomington zone, as Hanson Bukata skates towards the corner, now Bloomington will bounce one out to center ice. Riley Connors will run it down. So we're halfway through what we believe is a Utah power play. Connors will throw it in as he was looking for Genev. It bounced over the stick of a Bloomington defenseman. Now Bloomington will rise the puck over Connors to clear it out. Salem plays it behind Kaiser's net. As he'll slide it towards his right at center ice, looking for Connors, who gets it off the boards. Connors trying to get around a Bloomington skater and Chris Ortiz. Ortiz took it away. He'll tap it to center ice before Timofeyev plays the puck across to Connors. Right side slap shot goes wide. Not sure if McKay got a piece of it or not. As the Bison will switch up skaters off the screen. 20 seconds left in Utah's power play. Both teams have 1 power play goal tonight. As Timofeyev slides one across to Salem. Back to Timofeyev as he'll cross center ice. Gets around one Bison skater. Enters the offensive zone. He gets knocked down. As Bloomington long-range feed angle left. That goes wide. Arm is raised by the linesman. I think they've got the timing screwed up because if it was a Bloomington shorthanded situation, it wouldn't be icing. Obviously, it was a Utah power play, and it looked like, based on the time that we saw on the scorebook, it would still be a Utah power play for the next couple seconds. But it looks like icing is called in the Bison as there's 12 minutes and 8 seconds left in regulation. So it's still anybody's game as fans are having a good time over in Bloomington. So we believe the Grizzlies have an offensive zone draw, and it is. As John Gillette, the first-year pro out of Holy Cross, will take the draw against Luc Felix Denis, the former Reading Royal. Gillette crouches down. He takes the draw as it ricochets off sticks and skates. Boy, the English language is certainly tough tonight. Grizzlies back in neutral ice. They'll fire it in. Sticks and skates is really where the puck ricocheted off. And now the puck's towards center ice. It ricochets off Gillette's knee. Grizzlies push it ahead. It goes past Gillette. You have Donkomov in the area. Now at center ice, Colby Enns fires it in. It's pretty clear that this camera does not have a tripod. It is not steady at all. Almost like it's a windy day. 20-mile-per-hour winds. You see that camera shaking back and forth. That's pretty much what we have, although I don't think there's any wind over at Grossinger Motors Arena. Puck at center ice. Grizzlies will flip it back in on towards McKay as ricochets behind McKay's net. Mikey Colella in the area. As the Bison get to Matsushima, he'll drop it back off. Rink-wide feed to center ice, picked off by Salem. Now it glanced off of Salem. Bloomington gets it back. Bison to Bramov, throws to the middle of the ice. Lefty shot, kick saved by Kaiser. As puck to the left corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the third period. Actually, the Grizzlies skate from left to right. It's Bloomington that skates from right to left. Lebster gets the puck. He'll cross center ice. He'll move it to his left for Gratton. He'll bounce one, does Gratton across to Friesen in the right corner. As Friesen gets pushed to the corner by Chukarov. Ivan's his first name. As the Bison will pitchfork it out to center ice as Utah tried to leap to keep it in. Lebster around a Bison skater as he gets thrown towards the corner. There's Chukarov in the area. Lebster back to his feet. He gets up top to Boilar. Across to Noel. Left wing. He fires lefty shot saved by McKay. Now it's the left wing. Players for both teams are jostling for position. Lebster centers to Friesen off his stick. A big collision as Friesen goes down as he was battling with Riku Ishida. Bloomington slides it back to center ice. Ballard gets the puck. He's near Utah's bench. He'll feed a rink-wide pass angle right. Goes around Lebster, as Lebster avoided a check of a Bison skater. We're halfway through the third period. We're tied at 2. Bloomington has outshot Utah 29-22. Up ahead to center ice, Hanson Bucata will tap it off him to Felix Denis. As Felix Denis, rink-wide feed angle right. Right wing righty shot goes wide. Not sure if Kaiser got a piece of it. As Utah crosses center ice, Genev, he'll tap it into the corner. As he gets cut off, Timofeyev, he closes the gap and delivers a big hit on a Bison skater. Bloomington enters the offensive zone. Ferguson whips it around the boards. Shaynot chasing after it. Genev collapses the puck. Now it's off his stick as Shaynot dances around in the right corner. Gets it up top. Bloomington, right wing, they'll take a lefty shot. Glove saved by Kaiser. And he holds on as there's 9 minutes and 9 seconds left in regulation. It's anybody's game as the Grizzlies and Bison are tied at 2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Minutes and 9 seconds are left in the third period. We're tied at 2. If you joined us late, nobody scored in the first period. Mikhail Abramov scored his 5th of the year for Bloomington, 9-10 into the second. Leon Gavlis with the assist. Utah scored 2 unanswered second period goals. Evan Friesen with a power play tally, 14:57 in. And then Dylan Gratton gave Utah a 2-1 lead as he scored his first pro goal. The assist went to his older brother, Tyler. Bloomington tied it up 2:31 into the third period with a power play goal scored by Aiden McDonald as he redirected a Chris Ortiz shot. Ortiz and Suligan each picked up the assist. Grizzlies in the offensive zone as Luke Manning accelerates towards the right corner. Now he stops, throws it up top to the right point as the Grizzly gets nudged in the back, and that was Salem getting hit by Robidoux. Now, Robidoux had the puck overled for him as he chases after it. Salem will slide it towards Dylan Gratton, and Gratton, well, it looked like Robidoux charged after him. Hopefully, Dylan Gratton avoided the check. There's 8:35 on a moving clock here in the third period. As Bloomington has the puck in their own zone, Grizzlies skate from left to right as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports. Based on how much the camera is shaking up and down and back and forth, there must be a 20-mile-an-hour wind over at Crossinger Motors Arena. Over to the right wing, righty shot. That's blocked as Noel did a good job taking Bloomington's time and space away. As Noel gets the puck, and he'll flip it forward. As the puck hippity hops, now it rolls on its side like a tire towards McKay. As he'll nudge it his right to keep the play alive. Chris Ortiz slides it ahead. Ortiz with 1 assist tonight, and he's been impressive in the 4 games against the Grizzlies this season. Noel around the boards. He'll face his former team tomorrow, as he just was acquired a couple weeks ago from Cincinnati in a trade. Lepser stops on the right point. He fires a righty shot, saved by McKay. Rebound out in front, taken by Bloomington. Eddie Matsushima will skate around his own net. He's the Bloomington captain. Accelerates around Friesen, but loses control of the puck. Ends trying to get to Friesen, but he was on 2 knees. And the Bison throw it in. Kaiser stays in front of his net. Arm is raised by the linesman. And it appears Bloomington was called for icing, as there's 7 minutes and 34 seconds left on a frozen clock in the third period. Pretty good crowd over at Bloomington. Friday night crowd of 3,125 over at Grossinger Motors Arena. Special teams have played a factor in this one. Grizzlies are 1 for 4 on the power play. Bloomington is 1 for 3. We're skating 5-on-5 as the Grizzlies have an offensive zone draw. Here in the third period, Grizzlies having a shot advantage of 8-7. But Bloomington for the game has a 32-24 edge. Bloomington skates down the middle of the ice. Righty shot and a score. Mikhail Abramov gets his second of the game. Skated behind Utah's defense, and he fired a righty shot stick side past Kaiser. And with 7:23 left in the third period, it's the Bison 3 and the Grizzlies 2. Abramov got the puck out around a Grizzly defenseman, kind of skated a little bit towards his right, then fired it stick side past Kaiser. As Abramov got around Colby Enns, and Enns wanted to take a stick and break it behind Utah's net. As Abramov got around Colby Enns. As Abramov did a bit of a goal celebration. It's a multiple-point game for Mikhail Abramov. Picked up his 5th goal of the year, 9-10 into the second period. And Abramov scored 12:36 into the third with Chong-Min Lee, and Chris Ortiz gave the assists. So Ortiz with 2 third-period assists. Action deep in the Bloomington zone. There's about 7 minutes left in the third period. As Mike Gillette's got the puck, he'll slide it up top to Dylan Gratton. Gratton fires lefty shot, and it's blocked about 20 feet in front of McKay. As looks like a hand pass was called by referee Cameron Fleming. That stops play with 6 minutes, and the clock keeps moving even after the whistle. Hopefully the Grizzlies bench picks up on that, as it looks like there's a timeout on the ice. 2 unanswered third-period goals by Bloomington, and the Grizzlies have some catching up to do. 6:53 is left in the third. It's Bloomington 3, Utah 2. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Six minutes and 53 seconds is the time remaining in the third period. Bloomington leads 3-2. Mikhail Abramov has 2 goals, and the third period tally that was scored 12:36 into the third period is the difference in the game. Grizzlies will be in Cincinnati both tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Cincinnati lost 3-2 to the Toledo Walleye. We'll get to know the Cyclones quite a bit tomorrow evening. Cincinnati got goals from Vilio and Justin Vive, who's been with the Cyclones for many, many years. In fact, his father, Rick Vive, was one of the best forwards for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 1980s. Neutral zone draw is won by Utah as they'll backpedal into their own zone, skating from left to right here in the third period. Ed to Genev off his stick as he was being back-checked. Now Genev has the puck off his stick. Ricochets off the skate. Genev gets it. He crosses center ice. Accelerates over the offensive line. Tries to center it. Ricocheted off of Chris Ortiz's stick. As Genev was looking for Riley Connors, the reigning league rookie of the month. As he won the award for February, you can make a case for Danny Genev, who had 18 points in February, as Bloomington iced the puck as they misconnected on a long-range pass. 6:21 left in the third period. The Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. You know, the league doesn't like to do co-honors, co-rookie of the month, co-player of the month, things of that nature. However, this would have been a great month to have co-rookies of the month with Riley Connors and Danny Genev, as both guys were outstanding in the month of February. Connors had 11 goals and 5 assists. He had a goal in 8 of 12 games in February. And for Danny Genev, he had 4 goals and 14 assists in 12 games in the month. Grizzlies win the draw. They're in the offensive zone. Genev right side, his lefty shot is sticked away. It was sticked away by the defenseman in front of him. Genev gets it back in the right wing. He feeds it up top to Boiler. Right side, a fire lefty shot, and it goes wide. But Connors did a good job kind of acting as a screen on McKay. As a Bison get it knifed away by Genev at center ice. Timofeyev enters. He tried to brush it towards his right for Connors and fanned on it. Bloomington clears it off the near wing boards. Andrew Noel runs it down as both teams will switch up skaters. Noel with a strong outlet pass as he tried to get to Genev. No icing, though, as the must have gotten redirected at center ice. Less than 6 minutes left in regulation. Bloomington leads 3-2. as the Bison enter the offensive zone before getting a rough ride from Boilar. Connors shields Bloomington from the puck, and the puck ricochets off Bloomington's stick. Now to the left wing, as Colin Ferguson takes a lefty shot, and it's blocked by Boilar. Noel rolls it along the far wing boards. Puck goes out to center ice. Bloomington runs it down at their blue line. Ferguson, wearing number 9, gains center ice, and he'll float one forward as Kaiser lets it go, as it looked like it went far side past Kaiser. As Ferguson skates towards the corner of his offensive zone, he gets taken off the puck by Luke Manning. Now to the right wing, Chong-Ming Lee gets it up top. Lee's got 2 assists tonight. Bison feed it back in deep behind Utah's net as Enns collides with Abramov, who's on hat trick watch. Matsushima gets nudged in the back by Boilar. Luke Manning joins the play, and John Gillette hanging out in front of the crease. Grizzlies get the puck. They'll slide it ahead towards John Gillette, who moves to his left. Grizzlies cross center ice, and sliding it in is Barbashev, the former Bison skater. He was with Bloomington for part of last season, as well as some time in the AHL. Bloomington dumps it in, no icing. Grizzlies with a strong outlet pass, and they get to Barbashev as he gets cut off as he was entering the Bloomington zone. Now puck is reversed to the left wing. Grizzlies whip it around the wall. As Friesen, he gets cut off as he gets hit by a Bison skater. Bloomington in a mostly light blue jersey with red nearby, red trim, white numbers, white lettering, kind of reminiscent of the old Houston Oilers, that football team. You think about that, those colors, that's what Bloomington's pretty much wearing. Bison throw it back in, but they were on their side of center ice, and so icing on Bloomington as play stops with an even 4 minutes left in the third period. So see if the Grizzlies can find a way to tie it up. Kyle Kaiser's done a good job keeping the Grizzlies in this one as he has saved 30 of 33. As a fan does his best Hulk Hogan impersonation, kind of trying to get the crowd fired up. It looks like this camera that's showing the fan doesn't have a tripod either. It's kind of a little bit shaky, as if it's a windy night over in Bloomington. The temperature outside in Bloomington, Illinois was 73 degrees. Kind of makes us feel a little bit jealous. Did the temperature get like, 40, 42 degrees in the Salt Lake Valley? Friesen will take the drives out there with Lebster and Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, who's got 2 assists tonight. Bloomington wins the draw. They'll throw it up as it ricochets off of Utah's stick. And the Bison will loop it into Grizzlies ice. Arm is raised by the linesman. And Bloomington gets called for icing with 3:49 left in the third. I got to imagine that's the type of play that drives coaches nuts. You know, I would imagine a coach would be like, get to center ice, throw it in. Whereas opposed to, it just, that linesmen are going to be on top of it and call icing there. So the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. Friesen picked up the power play goal in the second period for Utah. He's now second in the club with 18 goals this season. Bloomington wins the draw. They'll get it ahead off a Bison stick as they're trying to accept it on the Grizzly side of neutral ice. Now Bloomington fires it in. Kaiser cuts it off. Got to imagine over the next 2 minutes, Kaiser might come off for an extra attacker, especially if the Grizzlies are in the offensive zone. Out to neutral ice. Bloomington fires it back in. Grizzlies looking to tie it up. They've got 15 road victories this season as Utah dancing around in their own zone. Reed Lebster is an outstanding skater. He's due for a big goal anytime now. Across the center ice before losing control of the puck. The Bison fire it back in. Kaiser's still in there. About 3 minutes left in regulation. As Boilar shields Bloomington for the puck. And he'll flip it ahead looking for Timofeyev. And it goes all the way down for a Utah icing. As there's now 2 minutes and 57 seconds left in regulation. Bloomington can empty the bucket for an odd reason. They don't play the rest of this weekend. Their next game is this upcoming Tuesday on March 10th. For the Grizzlies, it's the start of a very busy weekend. They'll get on a bus and head to Cincinnati after the game. Apparently, it's about a 5-hour bus ride from Bloomington to Cincinnati. So we see Matsushima taking the draw for Bloomington. I think that's Evan Friesen for the Grizzlies. It is Friesen, but this time it's won by Bloomington. Chris Ortiz, left wing. Shot gets redirected. Kaiser makes a nice blocker save. Bison slide it towards the right side as they get pushed by Boilar. Now the Grizzlies get the puck. They'll slide it out towards center ice. Timofeyev dumps it in. Ortiz chasing after it. He's got 2 assists tonight. Ortiz gets around one Grizzly, gets the stick lifted. Ortiz trying to muscle his way around a Grizzly skater. Puck goes to center ice. Genev has to go between his legs. He gets it back and slides it back to Lebster. Lebster gets towards center ice, moves it ahead to the Bloomington line for Connors, but the arm is raised by the referee. It looked like both arms are raised by the referee. There's 2:25 left in the third. It's possible the Grizzlies were called for offside. Looks like there's a timeout on the ice. So we believe it's going to be a neutral zone draw on the other side. It's Bloomington 3, Utah 2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Smoke him if you got him. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left in the third period. Utah's net is empty as there's a neutral zone draw. 6-on-5. Bloomington leads 3-2. Grizzlies with 6 skaters as Kaiser has come off for the extra attacker. Connors wins the neutral zone draw as Lebster pushes it back into his own zone for Hanson Mukata, who outlets to his left for Genev. Genev fires on to McKay, who makes a save. As Abramov on hat trick watch, Bloomington fires towards an empty net, and it goes just wide. Hanson Mukata runs it down, and icing is on the Bison with 2:09 left in the third. Grizzlies looking to tie it up as Utah is looking to end a 2-game losing skid. Bloomington has lost 6 in a row. In fact, the Bison's last victory actually came at Maverick Center against Utah in a 4-3 game. Connors will take the draw once again for Utah. He's got Genev to his right. Watch out for Reed Lebster's on the ice now. He has scored some big goals for the Grizzlies over the years. As the 5 we see on the ice, Gratton, Friesen, Connors, Genev, Lebster, Hanson Mukata. So 5 forwards and 1 defenseman on this unit. Connors, the reigning league rookie of the month. He's the 8th different Grizzly in the ECHL era to win the honor, and first since Brandon Cutler back in November of 2021. Utah wins the faceoff. Hanson Mukata gets it towards Genev. Utah in the offensive zone. Hanson Mukata with the blue line at his feet over to Genev. One-timer saved by McKay. Friesen fires to the net. Saved by McKay. And a ton of traffic out along the far goal line, and it appears McKay is covered up. 1:59 left in the third period. Or it looked like a couple seconds trickled off. Now they've got 1:57 listed. As Kyle Kaiser is on the bench. Either that or he's now John Cena. I can't see him. It is 6-on-5. Utah's net's empty. They reset the clock to 1:58. Boy, Genev's one-timer had a little bit of steam on it. Bloomington's done a good job kind of crowding the area in front of the crease, not letting the Grizzlies get in there. Utah wins the draw once again. Hanson Mukata over to Lebster, left wing. He fires a righty shot and it goes wide. Bloomington will clear it out as the puck is nowhere near Utah's empty net. Hanson Mukata strides after it, and play stops as icing is on Bloomington with 1:45 left in the third. The Grizzlies are in their final 25% of the regular season. It's game 55 of 72 as Utah completed 75% of the schedule last Saturday in a 4-1 loss to Tahoe. So face-offs over on the right side. Connors wins another draw. That's at least 3 here. Hanson Mukata over to Genev, back towards AHB's in the left point. He fires lefty shot, saved by McKay off his left pad. Genev gets pinned to the boards as Bloomington slides it up and not out. Hanson Mukata gets it from Genev. 1:28 left. Genev fires lefty scoop shot, and that's blocked as Bloomington tried to nudge it ahead. But somehow the Grizzlies kept it in. Now it goes to center ice. Bloomington will fire it off a Hanson Mukata stick. No icing as AHB skates around his empty net. Connors gets the puck across the center ice, pushes it to his left. And now we get a whistle. It appears Utah's called for offside with 1:08 left in the third. But it's really kept the Grizzlies in it as Riley Connors won about 3 or 4 faceoffs in that shift. And he did a good job giving the Grizzlies possession in the offensive zone. So we believe as the Grizzlies were entering the offensive zone, offside was called. So timeout's been called. And just as we were going to find out which team took the timeout, they took it away from the referee and handed it to the seats. And we saw some fans, so not sure if it's Utah timeout. We imagine with the Grizzlies down 1, it's the Grizzlies that took the timeout. There's 68 seconds left in regulation. And I got to imagine a big part of that is the Grizzlies wanted to keep the same 6-man unit on the ice with the 5 forwards and Hanson Bukata. So if you're the Grizzlies, you just want to get some traffic out in front. Obviously, Friesen's been a hot goal scorer as of late. He had a pretty productive month of February where he had a goal in 6 of 12 games. I got to think Tyler Gratton out in front could create some havoc. And obviously, anytime Hanson Bukata and Geneva are on the ice, there's certainly threats. And for Riley Connors, you don't really think about it. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but winning about 3 faceoffs in a row, given the Grizzlies some offensive zone time there, was certainly big, but just couldn't get anything past McKay, at least as of yet. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Utah. Connors takes the faceoff, and puck goes towards Cha-Ming Lee, who fanned on it once. Now he fires towards the empty net, and it goes wide as Geneva strides after it. Play stops with 59 seconds left in the third. So faceoff's going to be back in the left circle. It's an offensive zone draw for Utah. And it is the 6 on the ice that's been out there for a little bit. Friesen, Lebster, Gratton, Connors, Hanson Bukata, and Geneva. At least that's who we think are the 6 on the ice, as we keep seeing fans between whistles. Can't really take inventory as to who's out there. Grizzlies win the draw. As Lebster gets the puck, he's in the left circle, dangling back and forth. Utah trails 3-2, 50 seconds left. Hanson Bukata. I try to move it towards the left goal line. It's picked off. Bloomington fires to the empty net. And Geneva races down. Icing is called with 45 seconds left. Boy, Geneva and Matsushima reach hanging on each other. Geneva doing a good job trying to stay in front of Matsushima to make sure icing was going to be called, and it was. And so here late in regulation, trying to take inventory of who's on and off the ice, and we keep seeing fans between whistles. So it's another offensive zone draw for Utah. And really all the Grizzlies are looking for is that one golden opportunity to see if they can get something past McKay. We didn't get to see the face-off, but it goes deep into the Grizzly zone. No icing as Matsushima got in front of Geneva. Geneva gets the puck. He'll slide it towards his right. Hanson Bukata races across center ice, steps over the offensive line. He stops in the right point, gets it across. Lebster dangling back and forth along the left wing. 24 seconds left. Over to Hanson Bukata. High slide. Stick breaks as he was firing a one-timer. Bloomington fires to the empty net. And it was blocked and neutralized by Utah. 15 seconds left. Grizzlies dump it in. McKay plays behind his net. Friesen chasing back of him. As puck's over to the far corner. 5 seconds left. Can the Grizzlies break it free? 3 seconds. Puck stays in the corner. Connors throws it up, and it goes out of the zone, and that does it. Time runs out on the Grizzlies. Hanson Bukata had a good look on a one-timer from the high slot, and his stick let him down. And Bloomington was able to clear it out, and the Grizzlies couldn't get a shot off after that. So Bloomington holds on for a 3-2 victory. So Bison go to congratulate Dryden McKay, who picks up his 16th win of the year and his 15th as a goaltender for the Bison. He had one win for Utah earlier this season. Mikhail Abramov scored 2 goals, including the game winner. For the Grizzlies, they got second period goals from Evan Friesen, and Dylan Gratton picked up his first pro goal with his brother Tyler Gratton assisting. So the Bison thank their fans for showing up tonight. A crowd of just over 3,100. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final score. It's the Bloomington Bison 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Grizzlies just ran out of time at the end, and you kind of wonder where that Aiden Hansen-Bukata shot was going to end up if his stick didn't break with half a minute left in regulation. It just breaks of the game that sometimes go against a team, and unfortunately tonight kind of went against the Grizzlies. They didn't have too many grade A chances there in the final 5 minutes of regulation, as they really only had one official shot on goal in the final 5 minutes. Neither team scored in the first period. Bloomington outshot Utah 13-6. Bison took a 1-0 lead as Mikhail Abramov scored 9-10 in, with Lee and Gavlis getting the assists. Utah got a power play later on in the second period as Brad Morrison got an interference minor 13:35 in. Grizzlies capitalized as Tyler Gratton got the puck behind Bloomington's net, kind of chipped it towards the far side for Genev, and then Genev found Friesen out in front of the crease. Genev to Friesen to the back of the net. And with that, Evan Friesen broke a tie with Genev for second in the club with 18 goals, as both Genev and Friesen had 17 goals coming into play tonight. Genev picked up his 17th power play assist. And for Tyler Gratton, overall it's his 19th assist of the season. Utah took a 2-1 lead as Dylan Gratton had the puck on the right side, tried to center it out in front as he was looking for Evan Friesen. Ricocheted the puck off of Brad Morrison's skate, and the puck ended up in the back of Bloomington's net. And with that, Dylan Gratton picked up his first professional goal. He didn't have any goals for Vermont this season. At the University of Nebraska, Omaha, he had 2 goals in 35 games. And before that, played at Penn State for 2 years and had 5 goals in 69 games. So Dylan Gratton with 7 goals in his college career. He picked up his first as a pro, and he's going to be an outstanding professional for many years to come. And how about the Gratton family? Even though the Grizzlies lost tonight, they can celebrate a little bit as Tyler Gratton picked up his second assist of the night, and he picked up the lone helper on the Dylan Gratton goal that was 18-18 into the second. Grizzlies had a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes of play, and the Grizzlies have been a pretty strong club when leading after 2 periods this season. But Bloomington got a couple power plays early in the third period. They had a power play for the first minute, 28 seconds of the third. They were able to successfully kill that off. And then Dylan Gratton picked up a holding minor 2:08 in, and 23 seconds into the power play, math is hard sometimes. It was Ada McDonald redirecting a Chris Ortiz shot. And even if McDonald didn't get a piece of it, it looked like he occupied quite the screen on Kyle Kaiser. There wasn't really anybody in front of the crease battling with McDonald for the puck, just trying to nudge him out of position. McDonald redirected it, and it found the back of the net, as it was a power play goal, 2:31 into the third to tie it up at 2. And then the game winner was scored by Mikhail Abramov, who got a second of the night and 6th of the season. Chong-Ming Lee and Chris Ortiz each picked up their second assists of the night. Grizzlies didn't get too many chances there in the third period, although Riley Connors won 3 straight faceoffs to give the Grizzlies some offensive zone time. But obviously the best chance the Grizzlies had was that Aiden Hansen-Bukata's one-timer, where his equipment let him down. The stick broke, and who knows where the shot would have ended up had he been able to get a full shot off. Especially with a lot of traffic out in front. Maybe it pinballs off the stick or a skate, ricochets off the chest, something that maybe could get the Grizzlies the tying goal. Obviously, against a good goaltender like Dryden McKay, sometimes that's going to be how you get it done, is just get a good bounce somewhere and then maybe a juicy rebound off a deflection, and then who knows, maybe you find the tying goal. But Bloomington was able to clear it out after Hansen-Bukata's stick broke, and the Grizzlies skated back into the offensive zone, but the puck was in the corner as there was a scrum for about the final 10 seconds of regulation, and Utah couldn't get one final shot off. So a tough loss for Utah as their record goes to 20-28-7 for Bloomington. They end a 6-game losing skid as their record goes to 26, 24, 2-2. Well, the Grizzlies will pack up and get on a bus and head to Cincinnati. As Bill Belichick once said, we're on to Cincinnati, and that's where the Grizzlies will be for the next 2 days. Saturday night's going to be a 5:30 start. I think they're going to drop the puck around 5:35. At least that's the Mountain Time Zone. Over in Cincinnati, it will be a 7:35 local start. Coverage will begin here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network at 5:15. And then Sunday afternoon will be a 1 o'clock Mountain Time Zone start. And remember, we lose an hour of sleep going into Sunday. So really, it's going to be like a 12 o'clock start based on losing an hour to daylight savings. So a tough series. Cincinnati was in Toledo tonight, and they lost 3-2. So the Cyclones have to do a little bit of traveling after tonight's game as well. And obviously, 3 games in that short a period of time is certainly far from ideal. There are a few former Mountain Division players on the Cincinnati club, but for the most part, it's a team that we're going to get to know quite a bit over the next 2 days. Remember, the Grizzlies, after this weekend, will be home for 12 of their final 15 games. Make sure to get your tickets next week for the Grizzlies' 3-game homestand against the Tulsa Oilers. Next home game for the Grizzlies will be March 12th. That's going to be a rare Thursday game. And then the Grizzlies will have military night on Saturday, March 14th, and a Sunday, March 15th, 3 o'clock start with a post-game skate with the team after the game. But the Grizzlies have 2 more on the road as they head to Cincinnati. So they'll take on the Cyclones tomorrow evening. 5:15 pregame show, face off at about 5:35. 3 stars of the game from over in Bloomington. I got to think Tyler Gratton would get some sort of mention with his 2 assists, but I doubt it. There was 2 different Bison skaters that had 2 assists. 3rd star goes to Chris Ortiz. He had 2 assists and 3 shots. Chongming Lee had 2 assists and was a +2. He's the 2nd star. Mikhail Abramov is the number 1 star as he scored 2 goals, including the game winner, 12:36 into the 3rd period. Abramov was a +2 and had 4 shots. For the Grizzlies, obviously, you got to give honorable mentions to the 2 goal scorers, Evan Friesen and Dylan Gratton. And the Grizzlies captain Tyler Gratton had an assist in both of Utah's 2nd period goals. That'll just about wrap things up. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know it's a little bit difficult with this remote feed, and it was particularly tough because it looked like the way the camera was shaking back and forth and up and down, there was a 20-mile-an-hour wind over at Grossinger Motors Arena, even though I think it is an indoor venue. Once again, in 2 hours and 35 minutes and in front of a crowd of 3,125, it was the Bloomington Bison that get a 3-2 victory as the Grizzlies got 2nd period goals from Evan Friesen. And a big congratulations to Dylan Gratton, who scored his first pro goal 18-18 into the 2nd. As Gratton, it's the first of probably many, as Tyler Gratton, his older brother, got the assists. And for Dylan Gratton, he becomes the 12th different Grizzly skater to score their first pro goal this season. Half of those 12 are defensemen. Well, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, not necessarily the final outcome. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday in the very near future get to the National Hockey League. Tonight, Bloomington gets a 3-2 victory as the Grizzlies will look to bounce back tomorrow night in the Queen City. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.